Flora's got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feet, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella, unstoppable nature's child. Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through seasons she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.
Florabella on my screen, her smile it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene, in the morning or the night. Recipes and good vibes flow, every video a gem. Her confidence it grows and grows, we're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows, she's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow, every video a gem. Her confidence it grows and grows, we're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows, she's where we all belong. Every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows, she's where we all belong.
All right, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Good afternoon. I know it's nice and early in the afternoon still, but I wanted to bring you guys an interrogation show yet again because I really enjoyed this one. And that's my squeaky chair again, just so y'all know. But I really enjoyed the last one that we did, and so I was like, let me come back with some more. Okay, I obviously didn't go through all the videos I had at the time. Hold on, y'all. I'm not. This might be really important. Hold on.
Please talk to someone else, cause I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boys. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boy. No, no. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to. That nigga's crazy. Hopping in, bitch, and I saw it to be. Snakes in the grass, so they harder to see. My brother would give up his life to the O. He told me it go be a martyr for me. Said that she ready to corner the six. I hit up Pauline and charter the P. Ain't really leave, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm riding around in Atlanta with Sad, cause that nigga been going harder than me. Nothing to change, I'm just harder to please. Ferrari is making an SUV. We ain't got a choice, we ordering these. Shout out.
All right, y'all. Sorry. I just have to check on that because I've been getting a string of important phone calls, so I don't want to miss anything. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I greatly appreciate all that. Let me say hello to everyone here, before I just get started. We have Daniel Berry. He says afternoon to you as well, Daniel. Hey, Front Porch. She says, hey, Florida Bella, hey, chat. Ironic Inappropriate Comments is back today. He says, I know you've been missing me, Ebony and European Ivory. That's our destiny. He. Oh, thank you for joining us, Ironic Comments, Inappropriate Comments. Your cheesy wit is accepted here, okay? We will accept you. Uncomfortable Truth says, are you a cop, miss? No, I'm not. I am not the police. Am I dressed like the police? Do I look like a detective today? Maybe a homicide detective. I don't know. I think like I look like a regular folk, but it's the coat that's giving me like a, like a criminal edge. But anyways, I hope you guys are all doing good today. For those of you who are just lurking in the chat, I appreciate you as well. Ironic Comments says, Switzerland represent. And shout out to Switzerland. Shout out to every continent, every city, state that is watching me right now. You guys are greatly appreciated for your attendance. Okay, so as you guys are here and you're in attendance, we're going to get right into the show. Feel free to do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, comment, do all of that for me so that the video can be, shoved into the algorithm where it needs to be. All right. Front Porch said I'm undercover. Yes, I'm undercover. Hide your kids, hide your wife. No, but you know what I mean. I'm undercover telling the stories that will make you hide your kids and your wife. All right. So we're going to get into the first one here. And this one was like so bizarre. I was like, I can't not talk about this, right? Very bizarre. All right. Some of us have been living under a rock since the government decided to shut things down a couple of years ago. Y'all know what happened, right? I'm not going to reference what it was. But ever since then, in terms of like true crime and all that stuff that really interested me, I was not very in the know, right? I had to catch up with the last like 5 to 6 years of sensational cases. So I've been kind of going around doing my little work, and I'm going to present those all over the place. But today we're going to look at, I believe his name is Adly. All right, this young man has done something so terrible. All right, so terrible. So let's get into this one here. Make sure you guys like the video, support any of that you guys can do for me would be greatly appreciated. All right, let me get a banner going over here so y'all know what it is, right? Because this is a channel. You guys pay Law and Crime and all them people when you tune into their shows and stuff. Make sure you guys hit the like button and support the content creators over here, even us little ones who don't have high-end production, but we have high-end wit. Okay? We have wit, and that's what brings people here. That's what brings all the boys to the yard. So make sure you guys are supporting those of us who take the time out and energy to put together content, have conversations, and all of that. Ironic Inappropriate Comment says, only 5 viewers, you should fart again. I'm not that desperate for content, right? There's definitely people who will do the outlandish things they need to do to get people running in here. But I found that people tend to slow roll in here and I'm gonna be here for a good few hours, so I'm not rushing. All right, you just settle down. Ironic, inappropriate comments, okay? Because I know what your history is, and you're not gonna troll me this whole stream. Maybe about half of it, but not the whole stream. All right, let's get into it.
Come back, okay?
This is Adly Mester. Just hours ago, Adly killed his entire family.
But however, I found their bodies and their wounds were healed.
However, even though Adly's been caught, he doesn't plan on staying in the police station for very long.
And let me just say this. Why the hell did they put paper mache walls? Right? Why would, first of all, why would a police department who conducts investigations and interrogations, why would they make the interrogation room, which can hold serious criminals, out of paper mache? Like, this is, he busted up out of that joint. I know we're gonna act like he has monstrous strength because he just deleted his whole family, but he busted up out of that wall like it was made out of paper. Okay, this is a safety concern here. This is a risk that needs to be assessed by this facility. Whoever took this interrogation, they should think about finding a building that has solid walls, right? Because it's almost too easy. But let's continue.
On October 13th, 2024, the town of Tijeras, New Mexico would forever be changed after officers received a disturbing 911 call.
Listen, I'm right here with you, tall stranger. Why wasn't he cuffed to the table or chair? Why was it like this man literally, watch all this. From what he says about this whole case and everything, it is so bizarre to me that they did not cuff him. Like, at first I would cuff his neck just to have something to cuff. Okay. Gito says, I just saw this on X, cheap ass wall. Listen, he busted through that joint. You're not gonna convince me that he's strong, you know? You're not gonna convince me that he's some superhuman Hulk with his pudgy behind. You're not gonna convince me of that. I don't know if you would consider this recent. Let me see here. What was his name again? Adly what? Adly something. Let me see how recent this one is, because I know it was posted a couple of days ago. My cat is feeling FOMO. Is it Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office? Is it that one? Yeah, I believe so. Hold on, y'all. Sunday. Let me just see the date on this one. Yeah, so before I told you guys, just because it was released at a certain time, this case is actually from October 2024. So it's fairly recent. It's not really, it's not an old case like that. I like to double check sometimes because when they post a video and they put no info underneath, I get concerned, like, am I getting really old or something? But this one is this is a very recent case. October was what, like 6 months ago? Ironic says neck cuffs, kinky. No. No. I mean, like, for my safety, I wouldn't feel right if his neck wasn't cuffed. You know, there's nothing kinky about it. But let's continue here, and we're going to see, with somebody accused of this, how could they not put cuffs on him, you know? But let's continue.
From a scared neighbor, officers were quickly dispatched to the address.
Okay, so I live at 51 Young Road, and the property adjacent to me I also own, but I rent to a nice family that has been living there for some years. They come and help me with the chores around the ranch here, and none of those were done today. You heard like several gunshots about an hour and a half ago, and then about 10 minutes later, a single gunshot. It's odd that the father who does the chores over at my property next door hasn't been over to do any of them today, and all 4 cars are there, so we're getting a little bit worried.
Hello, Sheriff's Office.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
My family rushed me
Rushed you where?
in my room
What do you mean?
with a knife.
So he says, my family rushed me with a knife, right? What he's doing there is attempting to, make an excuse for the crime. He's trying to cover for himself. He's trying to say he was justified in whatever he did, right? To me, that gives me the mentality that he's aware of what he's done and he knows the consequences. All right. Ironic. Let's stay on topic. Okay.
Come out here real quick then.
Yes, sir.
What are you talking about, dude? Yeah. Do you have any weapons on you right now?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, no, don't reach.
No, I do.
Come on,
I
turn
do.
around.
Yes, sir.
You're just gonna tell me what's going on, okay?
So my family was trying to walk into my room, and they were trying to hit my heart. And my dad had a knife, and my sister had a sledgehammer, and then but however, I found the bodies, and their wounds were healed.
Okay.
You want me to show you?
In a minute, okay?
We need to show you.
It's crazy. I know, like,
He said, "No, ma'am. Call the whole squad. We need units, right? Multiple of y'all need to come over here. This is a hot mess." I'm telling you, people be playing on women. Women be knowing what to do, while the men would have been sitting there questioning. Oh, let me see. Maybe I should call some backup. No, she said we need additional units. Meow, right? Because she could peep. He's already talking too much. Now he does sound cognizant to me. But I don't know. What do you guys think? The fact that he's trying to cover and say, oh, I did it because they were rushing me, that gives me like, you understand what you did was wrong and you understand the consequences. And so you're trying to cover your tracks. That's what it gives me. But then everything he says and does afterwards is giving something else is not, the elevator is not ever reaching the floor that it intends to. It's right there. You can see it. But it doesn't quite land and let you get off, right? That's what it's giving. But let's continue.
their wounds were healed.
Okay.
Do you want me to show you?
In a minute, okay?
We need to show you.
It's crazy. I know, like, I found in the head, and then they're convulsing, they're biting their arms.
What's your parents' names?
Nancy, David,
What's your name?
Adly.
Adly?
Adly.
Are you okay, man?
Yeah, no, I'm actually shook.
You're shook up?
Yeah. I got a pistol in here. I was gonna put on my white.
Sorry, y'all. I didn't know I was muted. I didn't know I was muted. My bad, y'all. Joanne Jenkins says my message is not showing. I don't know what you sent prior. I have not seen the ones earlier, but I see this one. Wounds are healed. Wow, sociopathic behavior. I definitely think sociopathic. It's giving a hallucinogen type of thing is going on. I think something else was going on there. I know you guys didn't hear me because I was muted. I didn't realize I didn't unmute. But what I said here is this lady officer has very good instincts, right? The way he's talking, oh no, we need extra people here, the help, all of that. Joanne said Jenkins was about the drywall. It should be something called abuse board. I think that might be why it was hidden, right? Certain words are going to cause you to be like hidden, even from like for me, I can't see it in this chat. But if I were like in the YouTube app, I would be able to see why it's hiding your messages. And I'm getting that there's no mods right now, so it's probably, yeah, they'll probably pop up a little bit later, but the mods wouldn't be able to clear the message because they're not here. So let me put this video volume down a little bit. Chocolate Queen, unmute, please. Ironic, please stop being weird, okay? Please. I'm not moving the camera down, and we're gonna have to give you a little love tap that's gonna make you sit and watch quietly for a few minutes. They put it in schools and hospitals. Yeah, they definitely do. I don't understand why it would be. I don't understand why it would be at this type of location, though. I mean, you're dealing with somebody potentially that's extremely violent, you know. So why would they have such a flimsy material that is literally the barrier between them and, you know what I mean, them and dangerous violent criminals, especially ones that aren't cuffed. But this officer, I think she does a really, really good job of handling this individual. So let's watch.
All right. I don't know what happened. And then they're banging on my door.
You have blood on your hands. What's up with that?
My dad rushed me. I hit. My mom's like, "You need to die."
Turn around.
No, I can show you where the bodies are.
No, just hold on. Just hold on.
Okay, so
Hey, hold on. We have to detain you in the car, okay?
They're over there, like, right. Okay.
Are they in the house?
No, she looks scary. Come on.
Do you hear what she said? I'm gonna take it back a little bit. This officer has a lot of good instincts, right? Because she's not really willing to keep hearing this guy out or anything like that. I'm gonna bring it back to this point here so we can pay attention to how she deals with the fact that he's telling them some really bizarre things, right? He's claiming that his family was closing in on him with objects, right?
That's the side sledgehammer, and then but however, I found their bodies and their wounds were healed.
Okay. In a minute, okay?
We need additional use.
I know, like, I shot in the head, and then they're convulsing, they're biting their arms.
What's your parents' names?
Nancy, David,
What's your name?
Adly.
Adly?
Adly.
Are you okay, man?
Yeah, no, I'm honestly shook.
You're shook up?
Yeah. I got a pistol in here. Oh, I was gonna put on my white. I don't know what happened. And then they're banging on my door.
You have blood on your hands. What's up with that?
My dad rushed me. I hit him, and then my mom was like, "You need to die." And I was like,
Turn around.
"No, I can show you where the bodies are."
No, just hold on. Just hold on.
Okay, so
Hey, hold on. We have to detain you in the car, okay?
They're over there, like, right.
Are they in the house?
No, she looks scary. Come on. They're biting their arms, and then there's like hot boiling on the ground. Is that normal?
I can't. Just kind of hang out for a minute, okay? We have to figure some stuff out.
Adlai appears to be in a state.
She did a really good, and even though she appeared kind of flustered, she did a really good job of leading the other officer too. She was like, "No, we got to detain him in the car. Like, he don't need to come in there with us. He doesn't need to be anywhere near the crime scene. He needs to be where we can control him." Phoenix said, "Stop typing and maybe you will pay more attention." Yeah, we got to stay focused on the video, right? Hey, good evening, Tehran. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you. But I mean, this is very, very bizarre. Imagine you were a cop and this was your first day. I would be like, maybe I should try a different career. No, I mean, I've always thought policing would be interesting, but this type of case is probably not as common. And also, like, what if he would have tried to hurt them? I wouldn't necessarily want to be in that, be in that predicament. But let's continue.
State of insanity, claiming that his family attacked him, that he killed them, and that their injuries mysteriously disappeared. Clearly, something is very, very wrong. Terrified by the situation, the officers immediately call for dozens of backup deputies to help clear the house. Anyone could be hiding anywhere.
Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office! Anybody inside? Come out with your hands up, open and empty! Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office! Anybody inside? Make your presence known!
I got open door to the right. You guys take the left, I got right.
Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office! Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office!
Alright, we'll move. You guys take a door to the left, I'll hold right. Go. Wait.
Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office! Coming up to you. Is all of this clear?
Jen and Oscar, where are you guys at? Alright, we're moving up to you.
Is all of this clear, guys?
Yeah. Good. Clear back there? Yeah. Okay.
Sheriff's Office! Sheriff's Office!
Shell casings.
The house was empty, but blood was splattered everywhere inside the home.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to ask Mandala because you said this is my county, this is where I'm from. When I'm reviewing these cases in these other places, I never really know how much crime happens there. Is Bernalillo County, is that a place where murder, like red rums, are common, or not necessarily not unheard of? I couldn't just from reading online, I couldn't ascertain. But is this an area where there are some crimes like this going on? Right? Are people being deleted and stuff like that? Because it seemed that this was a home, an area where most of the people owned the homes. It didn't really look like a city too much. So I'm just wondering, how common are these types of red rums in that area? Let me know in the chat if you have a moment. But let's continue there, because they certainly have to treat it like someone else is there. But the way he was talking, I had no beliefs that there was anybody alive in the house. But I'm not a cop, so I don't know what they need to do to feel, at ease inside. She said, yes, it is a mini Chicago. Albuquerque is bad, love. I hate to admit it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Some of the times, we don't really know too much about these different cities outside of, what more people would do. So it's more of it is beautiful here despite the people. So even though it's beautiful, there is just unfortunately a certain crowd, huh? That's the thing that sucks about some of these other states, right? Because I love being next to the city. I love being close to major cities and things like that. So I like where I live. But I've always thought about moving out west and stuff. But it just seems like it would be too much land mass, and not necessarily the highest quality people everywhere. So, but all right, let's continue.
On walls, floors, beds, Adly wasn't lying. Humans had died inside that home. The bodies, however, were nowhere to be found. So officers decide to continue to search around the property, and this is where they would discover something horrifying.
You see blood on shrubs anywhere?
Nothing.
This one's clear. You see right now? Yeah, clear. You gotta check out here if the drag marks are out here, dude. Blood. Okay, I got him. Oh.
Those are the bodies of Adly's father, Raimundo, mother, Bertha, and sister, Braille. They were face down, with bloodstains on the grass, indicating that they were dragged out there. Paramedics would be called to rush the three to the hospital, but they were pronounced dead on the scene. Adly would be placed into a patrol vehicle to be transported over to the sheriff's office, but he would leave police with even more disturbing remarks in the process.
Yes, sir. We're gonna move you to the other seat, but then you gotta search you one more time, okay? Yes, sir.
Did you see their corpses? They're foaming out the mouth, but they're still convulsing back there. Can you find the bodies? Their wound is healed though. Is that normal? That's not normal. They're like black out the mouth. Did y'all take a picture? And then you see that grabbing this dog?
Yeah, go and see.
Adly's strange demeanor can only be described as psychotic. His entire family was dead, yet he remained calm as if nothing had even happened. Whatever caused Adly to commit these acts needs to be answered. So when everyone arrived to the sheriff's office, detectives would waste no time bringing Adly into the interrogation room for intense questioning. Unbeknownst to him, this interrogation would cause
Hold on. For some reason, it's experiencing delay, and I think it has to do with the video. Some is sitting on your wireless. No, I think I had I had a tab open that was like a news channel. Let me just make sure.
Unbeknownst to him, this.
Oh, sorry. I want to make sure that it's cleared up because hold on. For some reason, it's experiencing delay, and I think it has to do with the video. No, I think I had a tab open that was like a news channel. Unbeknownst to him, this. All right, I'm gonna play it and just make sure it's not skipping crazy like that again. Hold on.
It's the most chaotic day of these officers' lives.
Proper, right? Proper. Cool, man. I'm gonna have them take you out of handcuffs. Go ahead and stand up. Get you out of handcuffs. A little easier if you stand up, okay? So before I take you out, man, no problems, right? No problems down here.
All right, y'all. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out why am I getting so many interruptions? What else could be holding up the stream? Let me see, y'all. Hold on. I don't know at this point. Okay, give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna, for 8 minutes, I'm gonna refresh this tab too.
I'll come back, okay?
So 8 minutes and 6 seconds. Then we'll go back here. So that's when it started interrupting. All right, sorry guys. I'm just trying to make sure the quality is not becoming garbage. I think it had to do with my tabs open. All right, sorry. So sorry.
Remained calm as if nothing had even happened. Whatever caused Adly to commit these acts needs to be answered. So when everyone arrived to the sheriff's office, detectives would waste no time bringing Adly into the interrogation room for intense questioning. Unbeknownst to him, this interrogation would cause the most chaotic day of these officers' lives.
Proper, right? Proper. Cool, man. I'm gonna have them take you out of handcuffs. Go ahead and stand up. Get you out of handcuffs. A little easier if you stand up, okay? So before I take you out, man, no problems, right? No problems down here. No problems. No problems. Cool. You need any water or anything? You're all good. Crazy. Understandable.
Given the violent nature of Adly's horrific attacks, taking off his handcuffs is way outside standard procedure, something they would soon have to pay for.
Yeah, that's the thing here, right? It's not standard procedure. And thank you for letting me know it's a lot better. I see YouTube is just doing it to me today. It's just doing that weird thing and making all the videos slow, but it's still moving faster than it was. But I'm going to say this. It isn't standard procedure to take cuffs off of somebody who's committed a violent crime like this. It's not. You know, they're not supposed to do that. It's just not. It's literally outside of protocol, I believe. So for me, this is where I was just like, are all of these people rookies? Like, they have to all be rookies, because it doesn't make sense that they would uncuff somebody who's accused of that and not even like, it's not even like they put him in a cell and uncuffed him. He's in an interrogation room that he can literally walk out of. All he has to do is get the best of whoever's at the door, and he has no cuffs on. You know, that did not sit right with me. But let's continue.
So, like I said, my name is Cameron. I'm with the sheriff's office. Okay, so I'm one of the detectives that's out here. Just gonna come talk to you about what happened today, okay? Okay. So obviously, seems like a lot went on today. So, you know, I would like to ask you a few questions about what went down. So, first off, is English your first?
Around 9 p.m. we're like facing, there's like seismic waves. So I was just aiming at cell towers, top of Big Bend, top of Seattle, and then I was hearing a lot of seismic waves, and a lot of women were hurting. So then I helped the woman pull coins out of her and then we healed. And I aimed at a submarine, and next thing you know.
Do y'all think he's saying all this nonsense so that they think he's crazy? Because he's talking about putting coins in a vagina. A lot of women were hurt. Big Sean. I mean, what is he talking about? None of this makes any sense. And this would be another reason why I'm not taking them damn handcuffs off of you. Right? You sound insane. And he could be putting on a front to appear like there's something wrong with him and they don't got to worry about him. Okay? But this would be even more reason that, hey, look, even just this right here, what we see on the screen, right, where the officer is standing kind of defenseless towards him, right? His shoulders are squared, hands are in his pocket. He's facing away, so he's not going to necessarily see right away any actions towards him. I mean, it's very juvenile how they're regarding somebody who deleted their entire family, you know, and especially they deleted them because of some delusion going on in their head. I don't know. It's giving they didn't really understand the severity of the situation.
Procedure, something they would soon have to pay for.
So, like I said, my name's Cameron. I'm with the sheriff's office. Okay, so I'm one of the detectives that's out here. Just gonna come talk to you about what happened today, okay? Okay. So obviously, seems like a lot went on today. So, you know, I would like to ask you a few questions about what went down. So, first off, is English your first?
Around 9 p.m. we're like facing, there's like seismic waves. So I was just aiming at cell towers, top of Big Bend, top of Seattle, and then I was hearing a lot of seismic waves, and a lot of women were hurting. So then I helped the woman pull coins out of her and then we healed. And I aimed at a submarine, and next thing you know, the seismic waves would have stopped because they're only down for like 34 seconds. And next thing you know, the seismic wave wouldn't stop. My family starts convulsing. And then 9:30, convulsing, just lose consciousness, rush. And then around like 9:30, my sister would show up, like I was told. And I'm talking about they're doing people, so there's like a major catastrophe. That sounds like it.
Whether or not Adly intentionally appears to be unstable, his words indicate he's in a state of mental insanity. His depiction of what happened today is clearly imaginary and similar to someone suffering from schizophrenia. The detective will have to go along with these hallucinations in an attempt to try to get to the reality of the situation.
How many died?
How many?
Died today?
I don't know. I haven't been out there. So let's talk. I want to talk real quick about your family. Who lives at the house with you? Your mom? What's your mom's name? Let me just make sure I have that information. Mom, and then who else? Who's your sister? Ria? Bree?
VR, yeah,
Okay, Ria. And then your dad. Who's your dad? Raimundo? David? Okay. So I know you want to talk about all these ways and stuff, and I want to hear about those, okay? But I need to know, do you have any firearms? What kind of firearms? A Glock 19? Tell me what happened inside the house with your mom and dad and sister.
Now we have one more guy says there's no protection. There's no a child leave. There's no control, no stuff. And the cars make it feel heavy.
And when you say you had to, what did you have to do?
Okay, you had to kill him.
Okay.
And they lost consciousness, and I don't know what they do. They're raging. They're riding that. And like, having all that. Eating body.
They were eating bodies?
Having dogs. I had to shoot the dog.
You had to shoot a dog?
And I was winning their thing.
Yeah. Sounds like Satan. Okay. So today, and you're not in trouble if you did, okay? Today, did you take any type of drug or anything like that?
No.
So you've been sober?
Yes.
What were you usually on? THC? Okay. Have you ever been to the doctor at all? You've been take any type of drug or anything like that?
Now, when he said that, his face was beet red. Okay, beet red, completely beet red. So I don't know if he's nervous or what, but that's a good question, right? Are you under the influence of drugs? THC, anything like that? My guess would be methamphetamines, not just methamphetamines. What was the other one I was thinking that causes a hallucinogen? LSD. I'm thinking he took something and then came home, and his family were just the people around when he had these violent thoughts. So let's continue.
No.
So you've been sober?
Yes.
What were you usually on? THC? Okay. Have you ever been to the doctor at all? Or
we talked about this a couple days ago, right? THC for certain people can trigger psychosis. So if this individual does have a schizophrenic diagnosis or something similar to that, then that would exactly be why he could have had a break like this, right? Which is not necessarily insanity, but a break in his psyche. Sure, I can see that. Do me a favor, guys. If y'all are here, if you're in the chat with me, if you're watching, you're enjoying the show, hit the like button for me. Make sure you guys are engaging in the chat. That's like the biggest thing. I want y'all to come in here and have a conversation. Let me know your thoughts on the video, right? That's how we push this video out until the algorithm. So if you guys can do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and engage with me in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. All right, let's continue.
mental health issues?
Well, yeah, I went through the head and, cursed. She was cursing, I feel like my family cursed.
Yeah, it's definitely giving drug use. I wanted to go back to this comment really quick. Phoenix Mandela said, this is a huge problem for Hispanics and natives here. Unfortunately, mental illness is treated with precaution here, and especially lately. We have a lot of crooked cops as much as good. Now, I'm going to say this. A while back, I had saw a bunch of, a bunch of government job postings in the New Mexico area, in South Dakota, North Dakota, so many. And a lot of them were substance abuse related, foster care, a lot of that. So I mean, I know the area has to really be struggling in terms of social services, meaning like there is just too high of a need and not enough practitioners and things like that. That's something I definitely noticed. So thank you for your comment. Susan says, should ask, are you on any medication? Smoking weed is innocent. Never heard of THC causing insanity. Well, there's the very small cases, right, Susan Fontaine, of people actually it triggering a psychosis in people. And that's not everybody, but there are certain people that they will smoke THC, ingest it, eat it, whatever, and it will cause a small, like for the small percentage of people, it will cause a psychotic break. It can feel like a hallucinogen, right? I know people who they could drink all day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But when it came to smoking THC, they always felt paranoid and weird. And I was like, I don't know if she's a schizophrenic, but I know for a fact that she's one of those people that THC causes like weird psychiatric things to start happening. So, I mean, honestly, I think that's more of the issue. I don't think THC would make him delete his family, but I think a lot of these cops are ignorant, right? They're still going off of their understanding of drugs from 20 years ago, right? Nowadays, you have officers and cops getting caught with THC on them, right? Getting caught with fentanyl and things like that. So very old school thinking. It is nice to actually be relevant with the videos being played. I'm telling you, it definitely did. It definitely does. I believe that there's a lot of what you said missing here. THC can definitely cause people that are already susceptible to mental illness. It can, yeah, absolutely. And that's why I said you're already susceptible, already have maybe diagnoses and things like that. In my 30 years of nursing in inner city, never saw psychotic from weed. I just never heard of it. Well, I'm assuming it's because of the population you were dealing with, right? In the populations that I've served, I've seen people smoke THC, ingest THC. And you know what? I'm going to give you this, Susan. Maybe those people who ingested THC got a street version that was inundated with other substances, because I'm going to tell you, they did used to cut some weed with other substances like K2 and things like that. So that could be it. But what I'm telling you is I've seen it. And I think sometimes people can't necessarily vocalize that. Like maybe somebody will come into an ER and say, no, I didn't do no drugs, because they think weed is just not a drug and something that can cause psychiatric symptoms. So, but I've also met nurses who've told me they've seen people who smoked weed or ate THC. That was the big one, that they ate an edible and they had psychiatric symptoms. So I just really think it depends on the context and the situation, but I'm not going to tell you nothing. You're a nurse, so you would know. But I'm telling you from my perspective as somebody who's worked in mental health, not necessarily in nursing or any medical field, that's what it appeared. Is like sometimes they would do these substances and it would cause these chain reactions in their emotions, but I'm no expert. So same, I can't smoke weed, it makes me nervous. Yeah, I know people like that, Falcon. I'm telling you. It's true that too much THC can cause and does lead to psychosis in some people. Yeah, especially if you already have especially if you already have a predisposition to it, right? Like a genetic predisposition, environment, like especially, you know what I mean? Like that will make it so much worse. But let's continue.
Oh, really? And why do you say that?
I don't know, it's just, I always think I'm not going to.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, so this is what's going to happen, okay? We have a few things we got to do today. It's going to be a little while. I got to go talk to my partner, try to figure out what all happened. We got to figure this out, okay? If you need anything, just knock on the door or just say hello, and I'll come back and help you with whatever you need, okay? All right? Sounds good. Thank you.
May you please not alter?
I will not alter it. You'll get a copy of these. You'll get a copy when we're done, okay?
The detective would lock the door and leave to go determine what they should do with Adly. This would turn out to be a massive mistake. Adlai was appearing to be in a complete state of insanity, so leaving him alone gives him the chance to potentially harm himself. When a suspect is even remotely showing signs of mental instability, they should be under law enforcement supervision the entire time. This is further proven when Adlai decides to have a conversation with an imaginary figure in the room.
Does he even have it? So I'm just gonna sit.
After talking to the imaginary figure, Adlai proceeds to take his water bottle and relieve himself in it.
Admiral Magistrate got 40 over Admiral Big Baby 80. It sucks though. Then they kept unlocking it. Who? Angel! Unlock the door! Unlock the door! Jesus Christ, Jesus, Heavenly Father, please bring Eve to be under Admiral Big Baby Officer Magistrate to control consciousness of Angel. Amen. They still send soldiers? Fucking weirdos.
After spending so much time alone in his room, Adlai, perhaps out of frustration, strikes the wall. This seemingly random act would uncover something that would change everything. Adlai would make a run for it down the hallway, but the loud noise had already...
Wow. So he broke through a paper mache wall. And at least they heard it, but it's like, y'all heard that the first few times and he didn't come running? Like, that would scare me. Susan says, prime age for schizophrenia. I don't know if you saw my question, Susan, but I was like, is it standard to drug test OD patients? Right? Because when someone does come in with an OD and they tell you all the list of drugs they've been on, do you guys just drug test them just to see? Or do you guys just go off of their word? You know, I don't know. I'm not a nurse. There's a lot of meth that seems to get worse going around, and I have seen others use PCP before. PCP is a big street one too. There's no way he should have been able to kick through that drywall. That's what my first comment was about. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Right? Why? How could he just kick out of a drywall and he's now in a hallway and he can run out? He should have been handcuffed. And with handcuffs, yeah, it would have been, he could have still possibly done it, but it would have been way harder. I mean, he kicked through that wall maybe 3 or 4 times and then boom, you know? Okay, that's what I thought, Joanne. I thought that it was standard procedure to drug test. So then even if somebody doesn't tell you that it's THC, if you drug test them and they have THC in your system and they have a psychotic break, then I think it could be safe. It would be safe to say that you could make some assumptions about that. Y'all hear this squeaky ass chair? See, that's the chair. That was not me. But you can make some assumptions there. But let's continue.
Alerted an officer.
There's a minute left in this video. It's not a very long interrogation, but I wanted to go into that one because this is a bizarre case. Susan said, depends on situation. MD has to order, can't do tox screen. Okay, so you have to go work under the directions of the doctor in terms of what testing. So as a nurse, you can't decide, hey, maybe I think this person needs a tox screen on your own. You have to talk to the doctor about it. That if that's true, that makes a lot of sense on why sometimes essential things aren't done. But let's continue.
And he quickly rushed to stop the escaping suspect.
Stop! Put your hands down. Turn around.
We're gonna die about it.
Turn around.
Put your hands behind your back.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. Adlai, what are you doing, brother?
A very close call, but they managed to stop Adlai before it was too late. They realized their grave mistake of leaving Adlai to himself, so now they'd keep a very close eye on him as they transported him to a more secure location. Adlai was finally secured, and the tragic events that took place on October 13th, 2024 would finally come to an end. As of today, Adly remains in custody while he awaits his trial. Whether or not he will be ruled as mentally insane is still something to be determined, but judging by his statements given to detectives, he'll likely receive a prison sentence with mandatory mental health treatment during.
Well, that's pretty good, right? I've noticed that mandatory mental health treatment is becoming ingrained in a lot of sentencing nowadays, which is good. Very, very good. All right, so that was Adley, right? But now we're going to move on. All right, Adley was a bizarre case, but we're going to rewind a little bit. It's not Throwback Thursday, but we're going to rewind just a little bit to Jodi Arias. Do you guys remember Jodi Arias? Y'all remember her? She became extremely famous because of her whole bizarre like look. Like she was just so crazy, you know. When we met her, she was a blonde bombshell, you know, in good shape, fixated on that man for some reason, but she was considered a bombshell. But she was so bizarre. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick look back at some of the stuff that she did that really surprised people. Okay, this is like only a 2-minute excerpt of her interrogation, and then we're gonna go into the actual interrogation of this case, because although I followed this case while I was young, all the details and the information was not as privy to me. Okay, so we're gonna discuss it. Let me put the video up on the screen. Oh, okay, the video is up on the screen, and we're gonna watch this. All right, if somebody's being interrogated, the last thing they're gonna do is start acting weird, right? But for Jodi, she wasn't very concerned on how she would appear. Okay, so let's get into this video.
Still beating. It might change my memory.
Now I'm gonna say this, Phoenix Mandela. The way they edit is dramatic, right? Because they make it happen. They show it after one after the other, like it's all happening at once. But what you have to understand is these interrogations, some of them are like 4 hours long. And as she's sitting there, she would start to laugh to herself, talk to herself. It was very bizarre things that she would do. You know, her jumping on the wall and doing a handstand. All of that was just bizarre behavior, right? But like it was noticed, like it was noted in the video, she looked directly at the camera at that time. So being the little narc that she is, she recognized that this was being recorded. I don't know if she understood that the whole world would see her little crazy behind doing this, but nonetheless, all of us are watching her do this nonsense. All right, she's a clown with no audience. Oh yeah, she don't need an audience. Her internal dialogue is enough of an audience. She doesn't even need an audience. You know, that's how nuts she is. Yeah, she skeeved me out too. Trust me, Front Porch. And a lot of it has to do with the pictures. Like, the pictures of that case, like, were crazy because she got a right close next to him. Like, she was right there in his face taking pictures after she deleted him. Like, this girl was crazy. But let's continue.
regardless of what the Bible says. And yes, I'm Christian. I just live my life by the 10 Commandments, and those are my rules. Da, 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 da. You know, thou shalt not this or that, but it doesn't say thou shalt not fornicate. So I just used to joke about that.
I'm going to say this too, right? The man that she deleted was a Mormon, right? He was a Mormon man. He obviously was not living the teachings of the Mormon church, but she took on all of his beliefs as a way to try and keep him. And like, that's the weirdest thing ever, right? Don't become somebody for somebody else. Yes, a false, weird dude will really love that in you, right? You'll become whoever he wants you to be. But a normal, well-adjusted man is not going to want you to become a fake figure in his religion or whatever, who pretends that they appreciate and have those values. She was not a Christian, but she was also not like a Mormon, you know, but she still wanted to be with this man. So she would pretend, she would take on his beliefs as her own, all of it. I mean, she's a little cuckoo butt. She's crazy. Well, she did all of this to keep the man. So those are her bizarre moments. And now we're going to go into the actual interrogation, right? Because I want you guys to listen to a lot of this. When these cases become sensational, one thing I notice is that these other details, right, the details that really cause the police officers to put a nail in these coffins, you know, indict and get charges and get convictions on weirdos like this, right, is these interrogations, these conversations that they have with these people after they've done what they've done. They are bizarre. They're insane. And sometimes they're just downright a whole explanation for who the individual is that we're dealing with. Now, I fast forwarded this to 4 minutes and 27 seconds. I'm going to say this. Interrogations are usually drawn out police conversations, and they're done that way to break down the individual who they're interrogating, right? They want that person to feel desperate for maybe a bathroom break, a drink, a snack, right? And maybe while they're in that state, they'll be more vulnerable to give information. So I fast forward about 4 minutes in, and it looks like the investigator's coming in a minute, but let's watch how Jodi is reacting while she's sitting in this room, waiting to be questioned about her lover's deletion.
Yeah, let me get those off you. Can you stand there for me? Face down. I'm gonna get you a bottle of water.
Thank you. Any chance you could get my purse?
Yeah, we'll get that from the house.
Will they bring it to me?
We'll probably be putting your property. There's water for you. Do you want one for yourself? Yeah, I can be fine.
Maybe you could turn the heat up in here. Or like, do you have a sweater I can borrow or something?
I don't have any sweaters. I'll see if I can turn it off. It's hard to control the heat in this building.
That's fine.
Sure I don't lock myself in here. Yeah. So you remember me?
Of course I do.
I traveled all the way up here to come talk to you. Because I've been working on Travis's case ever since it happened. Okay, and I know exactly when it happened, when he was killed. I know a lot of details. And just recently we found quite a bit of evidence. And I'll discuss that with you. The main thing that I'm looking for, though, is answers on why certain things happened, why they went so far, and also get your statements.
Okay.
A lot of details on this case that haven't been released to the public and not even to Travis's family. And those details are known only by us and the person who did it. Okay, and that's one of the reasons I'm here, is because I believe that you know some of these details.
Okay.
And I think you can help us.
I would love to help you in any way that I can.
Okay. Because we're here at the police department, the sheriff's department here in, was it Siskiyou County?
Siskiyou.
What's it called? Okay. And you're considered under arrest or detained. You're not free to go. And I'm a police officer. I have to read you your rights. Okay. I'm sure you've heard them on TV. You know, I have to read them off this little card here, but they're pretty much the same. And I'll explain them to you as we go. Okay. Let's see. This is July 15, 2008, correct?
Yes.
Let me see what time it is here. It's 10:01 in the morning. This is case number 2008-161-0844. Okay. You do have the right to remain silent. Okay. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to the presence of an attorney to assist you prior to questioning and to be with you during questioning if you so desire. If you cannot afford an attorney, you have the right to have an attorney appointed for you prior to questioning. Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
And what I'm going to do is just ask you some questions, ask you what you've been doing, you know, certain dates and what you were up to.
Yeah.
You mentioned you were traveling on some of these dates.
I travel a lot.
I want to kind of clarify some of these things. And, you know, if there's a question that you don't want to answer, you don't feel comfortable, you can say no, you know, or, you know, you can elaborate as much as you want. It's completely up to you. It's at your speed. I don't want to pressure you.
Is this recorded at all, or should we?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a recording or something.
I don't know if these are voice recorded.
Okay, so you're being questioned for the deletion, and you're worried about whether or not you're being recorded. Honey, your priorities are all out of whack. Okay, they're all out of whack, and this is way back in 2008, y'all. So, excuse the grandma furniture in that interrogation room.
Orders, I noticed if they have video, or if they have audio, or batteries, or what.
I don't think they're on.
Sorry, they're really cool.
It's okay. Yeah, I haven't touched those or anything, but
oh, okay.
I mean, they're not on, so what I want to do is just get to the bottom of it. Everybody wants to know, okay? And, you know, so I'm going to ask you some questions. You can voluntarily answer them if you want, okay? Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
There was some question about you being, well, let's start with this. What have you done to since Travis's death? What have you been doing?
Well, I've been working. I haven't been really working in prepaid legal. There's not a whole lot here in this marketplace, which is...
It's kind of small here.
It's small here, and really that could be seen as an opportunity rather than a hindrance, because that just means the market is untapped in a large way. So I could have, if I wanted to. I'm kind of like a deer in the headlights when it comes to prepaid legal. I just have a fear of just approaching people. So I've been working at a Mexican restaurant in the north end of town. I've been kind of in a daze, at least the first few weeks.
Like everybody, you know.
Yeah. I know that a lot of people have been posting on Facebook really nice things, you know, and memories, and at one point I was like, maybe I should do that. So I posted this thing and I just said all my memories, and I realized looking back on it that it kind of sounded immature. It's more of like my Dear Travis kind of letter. And so I took it down because, yeah, some of it was detailed, a little more personal. Not too personal, nothing inappropriate. Just, I just felt funny. I think because I'm a photographer, I tend to communicate more through pictures. So I posted a ton of pictures that I had of him. And I have a ton more that I just can't access right now. And videos and things that I know his family would want. But so I posted pictures and I took that down, and I posted something last week. But other than that, I've been on Facebook and MySpace a lot, looking at his profile, looking at his pictures, reading things about his obituaries and any news updates. And you know, there's legacy.com where you can write something about him.
I've seen a lot of those postings.
I didn't realize until I actually spoke with Ryan Burns. He told the guy that's in Utah. And we've been talking a lot, and we try not to talk about that because it's kind of like, ugh. And plus, Travis is my ex-boyfriend, but at the same time, my friend. So while I'm mourning my friend, how do you talk to your new potential, possible, maybe person that you might start dating about your friend, even though he was your ex-boyfriend? So it's kind of a gray area. I try not to talk about him too much, but he comes up a lot. And it was through him that I learned that he said, you know, if you come out to Utah, things are really weird because everyone thinks that you could have had a hand.
And I've talked to a lot of people, and everybody's pointing a finger at you.
I know.
You know, everybody is saying, I don't understand what happened to Travis. I don't know who killed him. But you need to look at Jodi.
A tragic thing, right? When all the people you love know immediately that who your deleter was, right? They know who's the only person who would go that far. And they were spot on about her. They were spot on. She is crazy as hell. Okay, I'm not trying to overuse that word. I don't want to just call anybody who's a deviant crazy, but she's crazy. She's the definition of a crazy ex-girlfriend. Like, if we really had to define it, that's Jodi Arias. All right, so let's continue.
And sometimes the simplest answers are the correct ones. And that's one of the reasons I started looking at you a little bit closer. And over the last month or so, I've gotten into Travis's life, talked to all his friends, his family. I got a really good understanding of who he is now. And I got a very good understanding of your relationship with him. And I'm kind of just putting two and two together.
Well,
and it kind of matches. So one of the reasons I'm here is to talk to you to figure out what was going on between you two. I know the relationship that you guys had was of convenience sometimes. Obviously, you weren't boyfriend and girlfriend anymore, but you were still having a sexual relationship, which,
does his family know about that? Just curious.
No, his family doesn't know anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested in protecting how he's remembered as well, and you know, he was.
Honey, we don't care if he was sleeping around. Okay, we care that you deleted him. Nobody's gonna look at his past sexual history and talk about that. He is gone. Okay, whether he's a philanderer or not, nobody's gonna remember that now that he's deceased. You know, but for her, in her mind, that's why she did it.
I'm sure if Travis could speak right now, he wouldn't care what people thought about him because they knew who he was. Okay, a sexual relationship here or there, because the fact he was a member of the church really doesn't matter.
A couple times I asked him.
Whole range of things.
Yeah, I think in the broad scope of things that could be right. I just think that the reason I care about that is because he was adamant about that a couple times.
I feel like the officer should have just let her roll. Like, he almost got a little bit too, like, he almost said what I did, but he shouldn't have. He should have just let her say what she was going to say. Right? Because she was trying to allude to the fact that she feels like, oh, he was this church guy, but He was a whore, right? He was sleeping around. He had me and another woman, right? He was juggling hoes, but pretending to be a Mormon. Listen, what the cop basically said is no one's gonna care about that. But I do think in the interrogation aspect, he should have just let her speak on it. She clearly had it on her heart. She clearly is pissed at him, after she deleted him, that he was playing with her like this. And I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all, these religious dudes are no better. I'm not trying to be rude. They are no better than your average alley cat bandit who is for the streets. I need y'all to stop thinking that because they go to church and they wear a cross and they do this, that, and the third, that means that they're not a philanderer. If somebody's gonna be a cheater, they're gonna be a cheater. Their religion's not gonna stop them. Their mama ain't gonna stop them. Threat of harm ain't gonna stop them. It just is what it is. You can tell by how she's sitting in that chair, straight up psychopathy. You are crazy, Tito. Let's continue.
About it didn't work, or we didn't stick to our guns on it. And one time, a girlfriend of mine just said, "Why don't you just go to your bishop and talk?" And I stressed the same, and I talked to him about it, and he got really angry. He said, "I've already had problems with this in the past. I'm embarrassed by it. I don't want to go to my bishop." And so we just kind of stopped for like a few weeks, and then that must have been in, I think it was August, and then it just resumed.
Well, the way Travis stopped by, getting into his head and everything that he's written in his journals and everything I found out about him, he truly had feelings for you. And for some reason, he felt that the relationship between you and him was somewhat unhealthy, but he couldn't stop it. And I assume that's probably maybe the same way you felt about him, or
It's probably,
maybe you didn't understand why he didn't believe it was healthy.
No, I didn't think it was healthy either, spiritually at least, and probably emotionally, but mostly spiritually. And I think that kind of, once you have something that's not healthy spiritually, it filters through all aspects of your life. It's one of the main, there were three main reasons I moved back to Eureka, and one was I was in financial dire straits. I was not getting ahead, things were not working. Everything in Arizona was like, except for the wonderful friends that I made in my ward, and the opportunity. It's like the Mormon land of opportunity there, which is awesome, but except for all that, like every sign was pointing.
And let me tell you guys this, don't let her fool you. She is not no damn Mormon. But everything that she's describing, like her ward and all these different names for different parts of the Mormon organization, she didn't care nothing about that stuff. She did it all to be around him, right? She thought, hey, I'm gonna get this man if I do what he wants me to do, right? If I become Mormon, if I become of strong faith. That's what she's thinking here. She's thinking, if I align myself with everything that he believes and loves and values, then he'll love and value me. And that's just delusional, right? That's extremely delusional. But let's continue.
Disco, I wasn't able to hold a job, and that had never happened before. Too much of my nightlife was about him. He would text me and, "Hey, I'm getting sleepy, ... Just a bunch of Z's, and that was his code to like, come on over kind of thing. The coast is clear,
Damn.
So,
Whew. The fact that she was allowing herself to be his little 304 is crazy. And she's Mormon. She's a simp who crashed out. LOL. Yes, women can be simps too. Gito, Gito, she was not a Mormon for real like that. She joined for him. And some people will say, oh yeah, like you can join for a spouse and then become strong in your faith. Okay, sure, that happens sometimes. But she joined for that man, period. No one's going to convince me otherwise. Because besides that, she didn't have no family in the church, no community really. It was just people she had met. She wasn't invested in the Mormon church. It was just a way to keep him, to have him around. And she's talking about, my nightlife turned into him. Why, like, Mormons wouldn't even believe in really having a nightlife like that, right? All right, let's continue.
And that was just, I lived 5 minutes away, 10, maybe 10, depending, and it was just too convenient and too easy, and it was fun, and we had fun when we were together. And so it wasn't healthy, and I totally agree with that. So that was one of the reasons. Well, financially, I wasn't doing well. I missed my family. I moved away shortly after high school, and I come back to visit, but I realized over the years I'd missed out on a lot of things with my little brother and sister. I missed out on just their karate or their baseball or cheerleading or just whatever. And my dad is not doing well. He doesn't think he has very long to live, but he always says that. It's been that way for like a decade. He's still here, thank goodness. My grandparents aren't getting any younger, and I just have an awesome family. And I wanted to be able to just be here for a little bit and regroup financially. I owe my parents a lot of money, and I owe my grandparents a lot of money, and I owe friends money.
And listen, one would have you think that with the emotion she's showing, it's because of her life events. I believe that Jodi was mourning everything that she was going to lose in this moment, right? She was going to lose her freedom. She was going to lose her family. She's going to lose all those things because of what she's done. She knows this, and that's why she's crying. She's not crying because, I've been missing my family, like she's trying to portray. No, she's mourning the fact that her freedom is flying out the window with every moment that she sits in that interrogation room. You know, someone mentioned, she should have asked for a lawyer. This woman knew exactly what she was doing. She loved the attention, all of it. I don't think she quite understood how investigations work. Maybe she thought she could talk her way out of it, but yeah. I mean, this she's crazy. All right, so this is going all the way back to 2008. So we have rewinded a little bit. All right, so I'm going to do a few more minutes of this interrogation and let you guys hear some more about her and what she says and things like that. And then we're going to move on to another infamous case from way, way back in the day, right? Casey Anthony. All right, let's continue with this one, though.
I owe my, the guy that I bought a house with, I owe him a lot of money. He doesn't ask me for it, but I intend to pay him back because he really footed the bill on the mortgage for a few months. And third reason, and I like to put this third, I like to think that second to those reasons I would have been strong enough somehow, but the third reason was to put a distance, a physical distance between Travis and I, because I know that he really liked Mimi, and he said he did. They weren't dating, but I just felt guilty somehow, and I didn't know Ryan at the time. I met him in March in Oklahoma City, and it was just brief, and I remember seeing him and saying, I really want to go say hi to him, but he was surrounded by people, and he was kind of unapproachable. And he says he remembers meeting me too, and it wasn't until Zion, my friend, texted me, and I think I told you that.
And this is all after you broke up.
Oh yeah.
Broke up with Travis, everything was all over.
As far as the timeline, we broke. It was kind of a mutual thing, but I sort of more broke up with him. It was hard to do because I really loved him, but I just realized that without trust, you can't have anything, and I had violated his trust.
Is that the main reason you guys broke up? Is the trust?
Trust. I think that there's
not that the relationship was unhealthy because of the sexual activity, promiscuity, but just that you guys could trust each other.
I think that, and this doesn't make it right. Being a convert, I've had a couple of relationships before where I was intimate with. It's kind of silly, but I used to always joke that regardless of what the Bible says, and yes, I'm Christian, I just live my life by the 10 Commandments, and those are my rules. Thou shalt not this or that, but it doesn't say thou shalt not fornicate. So I just used to joke about that, and it's a bad philosophy. I think that with Travis, there was something inside that thought this is nice for instant gratification, but you're destroying what you have with Travis, and that's why we did pray about it. I remember we knelt by his bed once, and
She's going on like the weirdest tirade talking about how she felt about the relationship. I think that Jodi felt used, right? I think Jodi Arias felt used. She probably felt like nothing in return. I think a lot of her feelings were of resentment towards Travis. Right? You guys remember how this one, she wasn't a Mormon, was she? Joanne, she was not. She became a Mormon for him. Right? And then as soon as she left him, she wasn't really in the church like that. So she wasn't really a Mormon. Gito says there was multiple people involved, so many pitiful people involved. What I think is that Jodi is the type of user, right? So she probably got that man to become a simp for her, like meaning she gave him some attention and was nice, and so they had a mortgage together. You know, sometimes stuff like that happens. I'm telling you, some of these dudes they'll do it. They'll do it for a cute enough woman. They'll be like, oh, we're roommates. Okay, let's get a house that I'm going to pay the mortgage by myself. But you can live here too and give me rent sometimes. You know, that sometimes that's as close as they feel like they'll get to a woman. So I don't blame them. You know, Jodi is just, her whole thought process is bizarre from the beginning. More from her, and I'm gonna move on to our next little lunatic, who is Casey Anthony.
And surprisingly, he suggested it. Normally, you know, I would suggest that we pray before we go on a trip or before we eat if we're alone.
That was kind of unusual for him.
Yeah, because he was very resistant to prayer with me. I mean, I think in church it would have been fine, and I feel that maybe because we were driving with the Spirit constantly. Or maybe he felt that by inviting the Spirit, he would feel guilty about
driving away the Spirit. Imagine if you believed in a religion that your deity would turn away from you because you were misbehaving. Right? Imagine that. Humans wouldn't have any deities to look to. We misbehave every day. You know, but I believe that fixated on him and his religion, and he kept trying to use his religion as a way to break up with her. And it wasn't working, right? Because she kept trying to acquiesce to it. But let's continue.
Evening, or I don't know what the deal was. Or the excuse he used was because I'm a convert, I need more practice saying prayers. He's like, so I'd say, will you say a prayer? He's like, why don't you say a prayer? Why don't you say a prayer? Why don't you say a prayer? So we'd go back and forth, and I don't know, it's just one time when I was on a trip at Havasu Pi, we were all getting on the road, and I think it was with Dan Freeman and his sister Desiree, and they were all like, Jodi, will you say a prayer? And I said, sure, and Travis was like, anyway, I didn't want to argue with them, so, anyway, what was I saying?
You know, the whole back of my mind.
That was the big reason.
He was a big time flirt, and that's the one thing everybody says about him. He flirts a lot. Does he mean anything by it? No, not really. That's just who he is. He did have, you know, girlfriends here or there, and he was at a point in his life where he wanted to really start settling down. He felt like he needed to kind of grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, become a husband, become a father. You know, that time had come, and he felt that that time had come and gone, and he was falling behind.
He told me that too. He said he felt like his time was running out, and I told him that, you know, despite the fact that he's not going to be in a singles ward very much longer, he still has a lot of options. He's still a very eligible bachelor, and he just didn't see it that way. He was like, you don't understand. He was like, that might be true, but my chances are severely.
Oh boy. Girl, he was trying to get rid of you. He was trying to get rid of you.
Well, for recording the V's, he know where this shit about to go. Cause nobody touching the flow. They say you alone at the top, but it's gotta be lonely below. You just getting ready to diss, but don't even mention a hoe, and don't even mention a foe, unless you was trying to go pro. Whoa. I got more more stripes than Adidas. Yeah, I got them like you fuck. I don't chase bitches, I leave them. Flow screaming like I'm just. I don't get mad, I get even. Treat you niggas like a puzzle. I don't get mad, I get even. Treat you niggas, then you. Whoa. All that foundation she wearing, she thinks she QC. Telling I might sneak in with you with me. You must be Coach K, cause you ain't P. I'm on the jet like my last name Lee. 2 sticks in my hand like I'm playing a Wii. G-Block babies will spank you for free. We rough niggas up, now they begging for peace. Baby. Stepping on shit out in French in my toe. One in I toe, I'm so OVO. Halloween coming, he wanna dress up, but he don't need no costume, I'm turning them ghosts. She called me mucus, I stay in her throat. Still hit that boy, got his ass hitting notes. My niggas were man, so you know where this shit about to go. Cause nobody touching the flow. They say you alone at the top, but it's gotta be lonely below. You was getting ready to diss, but don't even mention a hoe. And don't even mention a foe. Unless you was trying to go broke. Oh damn, man, you niggas is the worst. Savage snatch you out your crib, then drop you in a hearse. Baby, please, make me nervous. Stop reaching in your purse. Nigga went and bought a house when he could've bought a verse. Niggas dumb as fuck. Imagine if I did that stupid shit when I was coming up. My crib feel like a hedge fund. I be in here just thumbing up. No, I'm S1 till I'm done fucking London up. Niggas made me nauseous. I had enough of bro boys. I can't talk to 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 bro boys. All you niggas make me sick. All you niggas rapping about the bricks and the licks. Then I hear in real life you living with your bitch. I can't talk to bro boys. I can't talk to bro boys. I can't talk to bro boys. I don't want no combo. I don't got no time for niggas posting mansion, living in a condo. Y'all be make believing. I cannot relate to ya. I can't talk to bro boys. I can't talk to bro boys. I cannot believe y'all was dissing on a old boy. I can't even think of how you came up with that flow, boy. Please talk to someone else, cause I can't talk to bro boy. 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 No, I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to
Doctor.
Battles got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feet, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's in, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella.
All right, sorry guys, I had some visitors, some peoples, so I had to go out for a second. My complete bad. Thank you guys for hanging around. All right. Also, I want to make a note. My kitten was crying because he was out there. Because I don't let him in here when I'm streaming anymore because he'll be so bad. Like he'll come over here and try to get on the thing. When he came in here just now, he sat down on the bed. The first thing he did was come and sit on the bed. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to be acting up like that. But I think I was talking too soon because now he's curious and he's walking around. But just so y'all know, if you hear background noises and stuff, it's just my kid. Don't Mormons practice polygamy? No, not the real Mormons. The fundamentalists who've broken off from the church, they do. No, Latter-day Saints do not practice polygamy. As far as I know, I was a Latter-day Saint until, maybe like 6 or so years ago. And it's not that I was active completely the whole time, but I was part of the church. And it was probably, there's no polygamists in that church. The polygamists are in the fundamentalist branch that broke off from the church. Sucks for the woman, I should say girls. Yeah. They are a part of the Mormon church, but they broke off into a different sect. They no longer follow the prophets and apostles of the modern day church. So that's why I think they're considered different. But my little buddy, my little JJ, he's 11 months old. So he's not even a full year, but that's why I have to keep him out for the streams because he's just so hyper. He'll start doing all types of nonsense. He'll come over here and be like, "Oh, you're streaming? Okay. Do, 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 do. Look it. He's already right here because he don't listen. Look it. Say hi, JJ, because I'm going to have to put you out. JJ, say hi. Say hi. He came in and he sat down like a good boy for like 3 seconds, and then he was like, "Nope." So, but he's already started coming over here. I know he's gonna try and do some nonsense, but I'm gonna let him be and just see how he responds. 'Cause this is a newer. I've revamped my studio a little bit, but I don't believe my kitten is civilized now. So, we're gonna continue. And if you hear some little noises, it's his little stinky butt. All right, let's continue.
Reduced once I turned 31. It was like this taking time on.
Finding a good Mormon girl, was difficult because in that church, that most of the girls get married in their early 20s.
Yeah. He said he didn't want to marry a girl in her early 20s because he said that he noticed a lot of pattern in the church with girls that married between 19 and 24, so to speak, would they'd start having babies and growing their family, and then they would look at their single girlfriends who are still having fun with no responsibilities, and they would regret getting married. And I think if you're strong in the church, it's not so much a problem, but
depends on who you surround yourself with too. If you surround yourself with the right people, it's a different story. But that's where he was. And did you guys ever discuss possibly getting married or anything?
when we were dating, we did.
Okay.
Once we broke up, he brought it up. He actually proposed to me a lot of times, but he wasn't serious. And he was serious once, and it was when we broke up. And that was really hard because we were on the phone, and it was just like none of that stuff should be done on the phone anyway, but I was hundreds of miles away. And I told him that I loved him. We didn't say I love you during our relationship, but we said it afterward. It was weird.
Okay.
I said, breaking up with him on the phone wasn't really the way I wanted to do it, but it was kind of a situation that had just come to a point where it just couldn't be ignored anymore. And
Well, let's move to after the breakup.
oh, okay.
What kept you in Mesa at that point?
I actually moved to Mesa a few weeks after we broke up.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as the timeline goes. But, I mean, if you want to call it our official breakup, shortly thereafter, it's like we were still seeing each
So
other.
you guys were seeing each other, but it was a long distance type relationship.
It was always long distance when we were officially dating. We didn't re-date. We dated from about the beginning of February to about the end of June.
Oh, poor baby. She was delusional. While she was dating him, he was dating others. She was never an official girl to him. And I'm not saying this to try and, diminish her as a person or anything. What I think is that Travis was using her, right? She was a toy. She was somebody who wasn't really invested in the church and who nobody really knew her. Her reputation was nothing really like that. And so he can use her as like this sexual object that he picks up when he wants and when he doesn't want. Right? I think that's what it was for Travis. Look, my kitty, he sat right back down and said, "Okay, I'm going to be good for a few more minutes." Look at him. He's just being a cutie pie over there. But I think that for him, Jodi was a means to an end, right? She was I hate to say this for lack of a better word, she was what he got off, right? That's how he would get his little jack off in, and then he would move on. He had no real feelings for her. He was using her. And I think that she caught on. But she's still going to talk about it from how she believed it was because she's preserving that image of him in her head in some ways. Right? I think that for her, Travis was innocent and beautiful and lovely and everything she wanted, but he did not want her. He didn't want her. To him, she was not pure enough. She was not strong enough in her faith, right? To him, he wanted this um, pure, demure Mormon girl who was driven by her connection to the church, by her peer church, her peer church associates, her peer leaders, and things like that. She was not what he thought. He was not what he wanted, right? Mormons have this little cultism to them where the only people that are really of interest to them are other Mormons. So they'll do like a hyper aggressive amount of Mormon singles events. And those will be the people that they will really connect to and talk with. And even if they fall out of the lines of Mormon conduct, it will be with somebody of their same faith. And I think that for Travis, it was easy again for him to use her because she wasn't of his same faith. She joined for him, right? It wasn't who she was. It wasn't her reputation. It wasn't who her family was. Like, yes, they could have possibly joined later, but that wasn't the case, right? The only way Mormonism was introduced to her was through this man. And she took it on thinking that she could penetrate this society, but Mormonism is not something that you can just try to jump into. There's a lot of really culty ways that Mormons behave. I'm sorry, Mormons, if you're watching my channel and you love me, don't take this the wrong way, right? I truly believe that there's like a really culty way of being, right? If you go to the same branch, if you guys went to the same college, if you marry someone whose whole family is Mormon, like all of it contributes to how invested you'll be sometimes in a relationship. And I've seen it. A lot of people who are Mormons and they get married together, if one family's not as strongly in it than the other one, that might cause issues. That might even cause them to separate. Sometimes people just separate just to separate, but a lot of times they're getting married very young, So let's continue this video here.
April, May, June, about 5 months total.
Okay. In June of 2007, you guys broke up, and then you moved to Mesa.
Yeah, I moved to Mesa, sort of.
Most people, when they break up, they kind of go their
I know,
own way.
and plans were already in order for me to move there. I was already speaking with a friend who was, was going to be her roommate, and I was her roommate for a short time. She's kind of flighty. She's a great girl, though. I had talked to Travis about maybe going to Southern California instead.
Okay.
And he's really persuasive.
He persuaded you to stay there in Mesa?
He kind of was playing up all the advantages if I did come to Mesa. And if I did, he said, it's a great place. We could still see each other and hang out on occasion. This church is very strong. You'll make a lot of friends. And I already knew all this stuff prior because we talked about that. And so I went ahead and just made the move. It sounded at the time like a good idea.
And you guys continued to kind of see each other at that time?
Yeah, at the time I was sort of living more across town over by Greenfield. Do you know where that is?
Yeah.
It was up Greenfield near Broadway. Greenfield and Broadway were the nearest cross streets. And that's where the girl that I was originally talking with, I moved in with her.
Yeah, it's kind of far from
Travis. Yeah. The thing about her, and just to give you a background of why I moved suddenly, she approached me the weekend after I got there and said, hey, she knocked on my door, can I talk to you for a second? I said, sure. And she moved in with her boyfriend, and they were engaged.
Okay.
And she said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that Scott and I went to Vegas last weekend to tie the knot. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, we haven't told anyone, but we didn't want to live in sin. So we're going to, and she had already been sealed in the temple once and was waiting for her cancel. Or her
sealing to be
to be canceled. So they were going to have a civil wedding on a beach in Oregon. And they did that the following weekend. She told me that on a Monday or Tuesday. It was the beginning of the week. And she said, the reason I'm telling you that is because I'm getting married this weekend, and I have to go out of town a few days ahead of Scott, to make arrangements. And now that he's a married man, we don't feel it's right that you be here in the house.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to inconvenience you. Is there any way you could stay with somebody else or just find another place? At the time I was waiting on a house in Gilbert because I already knew they were getting married, so I was kind of looking anyway. And there was a great girl named Brenda, and she was waiting on her keys for the mortgage to go through, and it was a great ward, it was a great house, and it was brand new. Construction and all that, it was really nice. But she didn't get her keys for months and months. I think she's in the house now, but I don't know, I haven't talked to her. So I scrambled. I went to the Institute, I wrote down a bunch of phone numbers, I called them all, a lot of them, I got voicemails. One girl that answered, her name was Tiffany, and she knew Travis, and she was at his services in Arizona and as well. And we've just remained friends, sort of, like on MySpace and Facebook and that kind of thing. But she said, hey, sorry, that's an outdated posting, I forgot to take it down, but go to this website. So LDShousing.net, I went there. I made 3 phone calls for the places that were within my price range. I didn't think to look where they were. The one girl that called me back, her name was Shannon Darricott. She said, here's my place, here's the directions, go ahead and go out and come see the house. It was available, so we did.
Oh, go ahead.
You have to get that?
No.
Okay. So I moved out there, and when Travis found out it was so close to him, he freaked out about it. And I made sure to check that it wasn't, that we wouldn't be in the same ward. And it was within his ward boundaries, but it was also Will's ward boundaries, so of course I'm going to go the other one, because it would just be kind of weird. I mean, I didn't know about him and Lisa at first, so I don't know if they were even dating.
Ooh, so hopefully you guys have understood. Jodi is crazy. I mean, she's over-explaining so many weird occurrences between her and Travis that are just extremely disturbing. You know, moving near him, moving to his singles ward, popping up here, popping up there. She became fixated on Scott. I'm sorry, not Scott, on Travis. I'm thinking of a whole other person in one of these shows. She's completely fixated on him, regardless of the fact that he's moved on, got engaged, got married. I mean, just, she's a nutcase. I'm sorry. So we're going to move on to Casey Anthony. And I want to say this. If you guys have never heard about Casey Anthony and what she's done, you guys should know that her 2-year-old, or I believe 3-year-old maybe, or close to being 3-year-old, was missing. And then they suddenly found her around her mom, in her mom's vehicle. Basically, it seemed like the mom had concealed what happened to her. So the case was took to trial because they didn't believe her story. Now, this is her investigation here after she was arrested. And just keep note, right? This is her baby, 2 to 3-year-old who disappeared, and then they found her deceased, and then they found that her being deceased was actually connected to her mom. Just pay attention to how she's responding to all of that in this interview. We're not going to watch all of it, but we're going to get into some of it, and we're going to really pay attention to how Casey Anthony regarded all of this. Now, she came out in 2020, I think, to try and do some damage control, because maybe at that point she finally felt guilty for deleting her child, even though she wasn't found guilty by the court. Everyone just noted that she didn't seem, sorry, this is my chair. You guys see me? I'm going back and forth. Everyone noticed that she didn't seem like she had any emotion or cared this whole time. You know, obviously the other things came out in this case, which was that she had gone, which was that, this is my chair, which was that she had gone out to clubs and bars. She was living her best life while her child was supposedly missing. All right, so let's continue. We're going to watch the beginning of this one, maybe about 20 or so minutes in, and then we're going to move into some more cases tonight.
But let me, I have to use the restroom, so if you'll give me a minute.
That's right.
And then we'll get your phone, and we will call your attorney.
Okay.
Okay? Oh. And I will sit here with you.
All right.
As you walk out. And there's water.
Nope, I'm fine. Thank you.
I don't know if I should apologize for what happened on the highway or not, but
I almost feel like I should in a sense, but I don't think, I know for a fact that he didn't know. So I don't think that it was intentional on anybody's part for any of it, so.
yeah,
I know that didn't look good, but I mean, you can understand why we
I know
went
one thing.
through-
If I got caught doing that, I would have gotten my ticket and thrown around the lawn, especially when they found out I was a federal agent. Oh, really? You're driving like that around here? Get your ass in my car.
Yeah. Well,
kinda
we
how-
figured going through the airport, it's restricted airspace, so they can't take the helicopters through, and we thought that the cars that were following us from my attorney's office were media, because there was a media van that followed us, and another van that went with them, so we're thinking, oh shit, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened before. It happens every day.
I know it does.
So,
I know it does. I'd like to make it stop happening, to be honest with you.
I would too.
Well, you know what I'll say to that. I've said it to your mom, I've said it to your dad, and I've said it to your brother even.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, that was one thing that they all agreed upon, was the fact that you've extended, your hand to help. Most people haven't. So.
I was afraid that some of what I said to them probably offended them, because I told them that if I find out something that you don't want to hear,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you anyway.
Well,
Just
honestly,
because-
they'll respect that. That's just, the type of people that they are in the same way.
I know they are. But when I hit them with certain things, they don't want to hear it. And I understand that.
Yeah. Well,
But it doesn't mean I'm not going to say it.
Exactly. When you have different beliefs than somebody, it is hard sometimes to hear their opinion. But
That's true.
that doesn't mean that they don't respect your opinion or the fact that you're coming forward with what you think or what you feel. So.
Well, to some extent, it's comforting to hear you say that, because it was never my intention to piss anybody in your family off. I'm not in it to get a conviction. I get nothing out of it.
Oh no! I fast forwarded too much. Hopefully I didn't go too far back. Well, I think that's around when he was talking. But what was the date of this interview? This was October 14th, 2008. October 14th, 2008.
So be it. That's why I told you, if you tell me anything now,
Yeah.
I'll get up and say, yep, I heard it, and she'd already invoked it. We can't use any of it. That's just the way it is. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
And, when we did another case that I was involved in, they lost a confession. And I sat there and I looked right at the guys that we worked with. I said,
That's not what's
who
important.
cares?
Yeah.
We found her. We found her, and he's going to get what is coming to him. That's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
And it works out in the end. And it works out in the end,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest with you. It may not be comfortable for everybody.
Yeah.
And if I've done things that if I get caught for, I'm not going to be comfortable, I can tell you that. It's just the way life is. But it's not the end of the road either. And that's what we have to keep in mind. It's not the end of the road.
Just a random question. Are there cameras in all of the rooms,
I
or
have
just
no
some?
freaking clue. I've
Yeah.
never been in this part of the building, so
Well, I know this is
my
something-
guess would be yes.
We're gonna go get something to drink. Do you want any soda, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, nothing?
No, I'm fine.
Good.
Thank you very much.
I know my mom.
I would guess yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Well, my mom wasn't aware that there was a camera in the room. I guess she met with Melich and I forget who else in the big interviews that were released to the media, and she was infuriated.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that that's something that you should be told, but you don't have to be.
Right. The law is the law.
Yeah.
And I will play within the rules of the law. If it's a tool that's available to me that I can use later to look back on and see if I missed something or could I have done something better, I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would assume that this place probably has one somewhere.
Oh,
around
easily,
here,
or
but-
at least something that records audio. So either way.
Yeah. I can tell you I don't. have anything on it. Yeah, they'll probably be somewhat unhappy when they see my interviews with them. Those haven't been released yet, but they were on video.
Yeah. Well, that's just part of the discovery. So.
Yeah, it'll all come out.
Mm-hmm.
That, like I said, I have loyalty to one person in every one of these cases, and it doesn't happen to be anybody I'm interviewing usually.
Understandably.
It's not a slight on them. dealt with many different people in many different positions.
Mm-hmm.
None of which are comfortable, and those things always get in the way that you have on your hands. You know? Such are the rules that we work under.
Yep. Here's my question. I know this is a question that a lot of people have asked. The grand jury and all of that is supposed to be secret, but it was released to the media right off the bat. My dad hadn't even been subpoenaed, and that was released. So I just think a lot of that's kind of funny. And the fact that they invited the media in when they were releasing the decision, my mom had received a text message from someone within the media saying they're letting all of us in when they make the decision. We're thinking, are you serious?
There are rules.
Mm-hmm.
I am quite sure that one of the rules that was followed was that when the decision to indict has been made, that part of it is public.
Yeah, that part's public.
And they can let the media into the courtroom at that point.
Yeah.
I bet, this is just my bet, I don't know what the Florida rules are, I'm more federal stuff, familiar with that.
Yeah.
But what I bet is that it was done under seal, and there were no names and no official charges probably read aloud. It probably just was, there's been an indictment received in a case. And that's it.
Well, when the media was out there all day and they knew about this a week ago that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny. It's supposed to be secret. And everything was released.
The happenings are secret.
Mm-hmm.
What takes place within the room is secret.
Yeah. But as far as when it actually is convened and, pulled together witnesses and stuff like that, that's not also supposed to be secret.
It depends on how
nothing strikes me more about this interview than that it seems like nothing has happened to her. All right? She lost an infant child. Her infant child is deceased. And she's just talking like they're at a coffee date. Like, it's so weird. She's like, oh, don't worry. You don't have to apologize. I mean, if somebody had lost their child, they would, and it was a child that they cared for, they would be hysterical right now. Almost inconsolable. Her emotions, her demeanor is inappropriate for what's going on. Completely inappropriate.
they're subpoenaed.
Okay.
I mean, if you're subpoenaed under a regular court order, that's a
My
public
dad was through
document.
his attorney, so I'm sure how that came through. Yeah, I
But
know.
but if the subpoena itself is just a regular federal or
certain
grand jury
things are
subpoena, that's public
public
record.
knowledge, yeah.
It doesn't say what it's for. It doesn't say what case it's in. It doesn't. It just says your subpoena appeared before the grand jury.
Well, with them announcing that, there was going to be a grand jury, and obviously my name was thrown out, they knew who the grand jury was for.
Who threw your name out?
All of the media said that it was from an inside source, meaning in here. So that's where they all say is.
I can tell you what I think of the media and what I think of people who leak stuff to the media.
I think it's garbage. Yeah,
but
I agree. That's the next way of putting it.
That doesn't make it any less necessary. Without them, I'll be quite honest, without the media, we don't find a quarter of the kids that we...
Oh, I agree. It helps. The exposure has helped bring in so many tips for my daughter.
But at the same time, what it creates is it creates a monster that otherwise isn't necessary.
Exactly.
The tips are what the tips are. If it was a local media only, it would be much easier to work.
Yeah.
When you make it the national media, then you come up with...
You get the Nancy Graces.
Well, you get the tips also that come from Hawaii that say, I saw Kaylee. Oh, really? Okay, let me call Hawaii and let me send them out. Let me do
and
that.
ones that are a little bit closer.
Those are what I consider local. Because the local stations are going to cover that. That's contiguous to the state of Florida. That's not...
When people are only getting their information from the Nancy Graces or from Globe magazine or People or, stuff like that. Are you kidding me?
Well, I can say you will not see me sit down and be interviewed by People or Globe or anybody else. It's not going to
That's a good one.
Entree food, my friend.
Woo. That was a long ride without doing that. And then that adrenaline done all at the same time?
Don't even want to know what we're talking about here.
You know.
I'm just going to let that go.
You know why I need it?
Who's that?
You're not going to break bad, right?
All right.
We're going to call him on my cell phone.
Okay. I know this is, oh, yeah, that's not good.
Pull it back there. Just slide your hands out. No,
I honestly can't. So they're a little tight.
Thanks for entertaining us. Just slide your hands out. Way to go,
Corporal Edwards.
Actually, if I could, I would have done that for you.
Do you know Baez's phone number off the top of your head?
No, I do not.
How can we get the cell number, or his number?
I know his office number.
What is that?
407-705-2626.
Did you see Mr. Savage while you were out there?
Yeah. You want to go speak with him and give me a handcuff key that fits? Do you want that? And I'll have her shoot a phone call to Miss Baez.
You do that.
Now, once again,
where is he?
Should be into the chief.
I think he needs a map to get back there.
This is a rat maze.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, he doesn't know how to get back there.
I've identified myself. You know why you're in custody.
Yes.
And you signed this. You want your attorney present.
Yes.
Through that conversation, we've agreed.
Yes.
Because express that to me again, so I understand before I get on the phone with him.
We discussed before that we have no problem sitting down together, him and I, and speaking with law enforcement, or listening to all the questions that you have, him and I discussing it, and then we go from there.
Okay. And that's
So here's what I'm gonna say though. She's calculated, right? She's like, okay, I'm here, I'm talking to you guys, but I'm still gonna have my attorney present. I'm gonna cooperate, but with somebody who's on my side that'll help me protect my interests.
no success with that so far. In
Nobody's taken us up on that.
So we're gonna open that window right now.
Okay.
And hopefully we can make something happen. Because ultimately, I think we have the same interest.
Mm-hmm.
Finding your daughter. 2626, you said?
Yes. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ed, it's Casey. Can you do me a favor and call Jose, or can you give me Jose's cell phone number so I can call him? Oh, is he? Okay, great, thanks.
How long ago was that?
I was 17, 5 years.
When'd you cut your hair?
Hey, it's Casey. I'm with Corporal Edwards. I know the last name, sorry. I'm at the Sheriff's Department if you'd like to come down and meet with us. Thank you. Yes.
You want to talk to me anytime too?
Okay, great, thanks. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah. Give him the information.
Orange County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, but John Young and 50? Yeah, we Mr. Baez, we Mirandized her as at 422, and she stated that you've done a great job. She invoked, but she also said that that her exasperation is the same as ours. You guys have wanted the opportunity to speak with law enforcement face to face, and if you guys are interested in doing that, let's get that done. Quit the finger pointing, okay? All right, sir.
Thanks.
We're game on? Game on?
Casey, the good-looking young man that just walked in is sitting across from you now is Nick Savage.
When did he get in here?
Oh.
He's from here.
Anybody else need a drink?
If it's okay with you, I'm going to turn this
Yeah, that's
one
fine.
over to.
I appreciate your help.
No problem.
Thanks.
Remember what I
Nice to meet
said?
Mr. Baez is on the way.
They're yours. Thank you for taking this out. Yeah.
All right.
You guys need anything? I'm better. I'm going to get out.
All right,
Okay?
thank
If
you.
you need anything, call.
Thanks.
All right.
he spell his last name?
Easy.
Hard one.
To answer your other question, from that picture, I cut my hair. It was really short even last year. I just started growing it back out this year, so guessed about that.
Okay.
As far as Mr. Bias?
He's at the office.
He's at the office.
Okay.
So we have a better time.
Okay, that's fine.
So, and we
appreciate that.
We went through the formalities of this, make sure everything's above board, and like I said before, that's what you're going to get here. Okay? We just would request the same back.
Yep.
You understand what you're arrested for today?
Yes.
Okay.
May I step out for a minute?
Absolutely.
And I'll be all right?
Yep.
You sure you don't want any injury?
I'm fine, thank you.
Hey, Pete. Where'd my handcuff go?
Maybe not. I'll be the pawn shop right now.
Oh my. It's been a long day.
It has been.
How was my dad this morning?
He had a hard time.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I only from the media and got a chance to hear him talking to my mom. I spoke to him last night and this morning for just a quick second before he left, so.
Yeah, I talked to him this morning for a little bit. It was with Mark, and yeah, he was really struggling. I mean, you can imagine he was having a hard time. He was being called in to essentially provide testimony to indict you, or to at least, and he was really struggling with that.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for him, to be honest with you. I truly did.
Well, I even told him last night. I know he was subpoenaed, and under the law, he had to answer whatever questions were asked him, and I told him to do what he had to do at that point. And if he didn't, he'd be held in contempt of court. I don't want to see that happen, so.
What did he say?
He just hugged me and told me that he loved me, and I know he was struggling with it even last night. So.
I think it was probably more so this morning.
Yeah, I could see that with the little bit that I saw.
You know, and all of that is just, that's a lot, right? Your own father testifying in a way that becomes favorable for you to be prosecuted. And she's completely disconnected. She's talking about this like it's him picking up lunch at her house or something. Her attorney know? I don't know if he didn't know this was being recorded, but come on. You could have told her stuff about this later and more private. But he just sits there talking to her like as if he doesn't know this is being recorded. And now the whole world is listening to this conversation. That's supposed to be her attorney, I believe.
From the media, from the pictures and the little bit of footage that they have, so.
Were you guys watching on TV?
No, we watched online a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I try to stay away from the TV as much as possible. At least with the internet, I can scroll through, read what I want, and then just get rid of it that much faster, so.
You anxious about today at all?
I have been. I mean, this is something, honestly, we've been preparing for from the beginning just because of words that were directly spoken from Yuri Melich and also from Sergeant Allen. They were saying that this is what they were planning on doing from the very beginning, from that first day. So they wrote me off within the first couple hours. So.
I don't know if that's true.
That was the direct words that they pretty much gave to myself, and even they had said that to my parents. So, I'm not trying to say something derogatory toward one, but
no, it's okay. We're just talking.
Yeah.
We're just chatting.
So that was the only time I made any effort to try to talk to me one-on-one.
No, it was kind of difficult.
That was kind of difficult considering.
Well, considering obviously in light of everything that's going on and the fact that you've been arrested for other things, makes it a little more difficult to sit down and even talk to you. Mm-hmm. It's not that we haven't wanted to.
Yeah. But I do have counsel, and that's something that, my attorney's always been a phone call away. And it shouldn't have taken it getting to this point.
Oh, wait.
3 months in.
Maybe I misread. Okay, so this is not her attorney. It's just another detective. My bad, guys. There's a point where her attorney comes there. Hold on. It's a little bit deeper in this interrogation. But, hers is so long that it's like, trying to get through all of her, You know what, guys? I'm gonna stop there with Casey because I think Casey needs more than one live stream. You know, she has way too much going on with her case that you can't just cover it with one part of a video. So we're gonna watch this next one here. You know, this woman thinks that she can use her beauty and her body to distract the police from this investigation here, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work in her favor. All right. So let me put this one up on the screen here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. If you can do me a favor and hit the like button. Her attorney is Jose Biaz. Yeah, I misread there for a second. My bad, guys. But yeah, she does. There's a part with her attorney is part of it. I mean, like this lady remained completely callous. I don't know how her jury was able to like look at her and be like, oh yeah, no, she didn't do nothing. Even though we have this evidence and we can kind of connect her to it, but it's still vague because a lot of things have been concealed. I don't know how she got away with it. But Casey is not somebody you can just do like a string video on. And that's something I mistaked for her. But I don't want to be here that long. So I'm going to move on to the next one, which is Alexandra. All right. She really thinks that her body and her looks and all of it is going to help her escape accountability and all that for this. She thought maybe, you know, if I can play with these cops, then I can play with these charges and not go to jail for as long as I might. All right, so let's watch.
This is a really ugly interview.
I know, but you want me to get you a cup of water, or is that good?
No,
you want a refill? All right, let me grab something. I'll be right back, okay?
It's cold in here.
You got a jacket or anything? Let me see if we got a blanket.
Okay.
Right back.
Thank you. Don't leave me in here forever.
I won't. I'm coming.
Cool.
This is Alexandra Schreffler. In 2016, a man named Colton Shearer was shot in the abdomen in her home on County Road during a reported robbery. Shearer, 18 years old at the time, was a Middleburg High School graduate on summer break from South Georgia State College, which he attended on a baseball scholarship. Others involved in the crime are Jordan Coleman, Torian Johnson, and Ozell McNabb Jr. This is her interview.
I can't find a blanket anywhere, sorry.
It's okay. I don't know much.
It's probably nasty. I know you're witnessing this whole thing, but because we're talking to you in here, I'm just going to read you your rights, okay? And just go over this form. Doesn't mean you're in trouble. Doesn't mean you're going to jail. Anything like that. It's just something I want to make sure we do.
Okay. I'm not nervous about going to jail or any of that because I didn't do it. I mean, not even that. I didn't do anything to be uncooperative about, but I just, it's a lot, it's blurry. It's
but I mean, help us the best you can. Anyway.
Well, yeah, it's just confusing and blurry.
Well, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence or anything about explaining this to you, okay? I know you finished high school, right? You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, won't be appointed representative before questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements, okay?
Okay.
Understand all those right. You lived there a couple weeks.
I think I always put country, not county.
All right, so you live with a Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
What's Jordan's last name?
Coleman. But he wasn't here or any of that. I don't know where he's at, honestly.
Okay.
I think he's in a party in Middleburg, but then again...
How old's Jordan?
20.
Is this your boyfriend, or is this just a friend?
Jordan's just my friend. I got him babysitting around 5, and I walked home when he wasn't there.
You have a phone?
Mm-mm.
No? Just Celeste? Okay. So y'all are communicating with everybody through Celeste's phone? Trying to get to these parties or whatever, seeing if you can get a ride?
Well, I mean, yes and no. It wasn't like that. We were just trying to find somebody to hang out with. We threw the party idea away at 9 o'clock when they never came and got us.
Okay.
And we played Uno, smoked some cigarettes.
Played Uno, smoked cigarettes. All right.
And then around, my time was about to jump, sorry, majorly. When I don't remember what time I hit Colton up, but I messaged Colton and I was like, hey, what's your number? And he sent me his number, and then I texted him and he was like, who is this? And I was like, LOL, do you send everybody your number? At this time of night, you just sent it to me. And he was like, just kidding, just making sure it's you. What are you doing? Where are you at? What do you want to do? I was like, I'm trying to hang out. What are you trying to do? He's like, are you home? I was like, yeah. He's like, is it your house? I was like, yeah, I have a roommate, but he's not here. Y'all are more than welcome to come. Who are you with? He never told me who he was with. He asked who I was with multiple times, and I told him. And then around like, he stopped talking to me for a little while, and then it got later, and he had called Celeste's phone and was like, what's up, what's your address, send it to me. So I sent him the address, it didn't work, he called me back, and he was like, I'm on 16, what's the address, the one you sent me, is it working, is it county or country, I think, because I wrote it wrong.
Right, yeah.
And then he never put the address in his GPS. See, I guess he drove by my house. I was like standing out inside the porch. He drove by my house like a few times, like stopped, backed up, like did some weird stuff. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm outside.
What's Colton drive?
I think it's blue. A blue Chevy Silverado.
Is it like
It's a dark, yeah, it's a dark color truck. Like, I know what his truck looks like. I just don't know what, I don't remember what color.
What time do you think you sent a message or whatever, or started talking to Colton? And what's Colton's last name?
I don't know how to pronounce it. It starts with an S.
Okay.
I want to say no earlier than 1, no later than 2.
In the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Between 1 and 2.
1 and 2?
Yeah. I don't have a phone, so it wasn't like I was like looking at time.
I got you. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold you to it exactly, but I'm just trying to get a general ballpark.
I know, I'm just trying to help as much as I can, and I don't want him, like, my friend just got shot, and I don't know who the fuck did it.
How old's Colton?
He's in college, so under 21, I think.
Okay.
Honestly, I think he's under 21, but I think he might be 21 because he went to the gas station to get beer.
Did he? Okay.
Unless he was, I don't know who he was with.
Okay. So y'all's plans, he was gonna go get beer and bring it back to your place?
That was never the plan. He drove by my house, and, like, I was on the phone with him, and he, like, backed up, and the phone died. I plugged it in the kitchen, and started turning it on immediately. Like, I walked out to the road or whatever. And then I walked back to the house, I picked up the phone, and it was on, and I called him back, and I was like, where'd you go? Like, I saw your tail lights, like, I was out in the middle of the road. He's like, okay, stay in the middle of the road, I'm coming back. And I was like, well, where are you at? He's like, I'm at King getting beer, it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes till, or it's 10 minutes till 10. It was 10 minutes till, or it was 10 minutes till 2. That's when it happened. Yes. That's what happened. Sorry, I'm trying to like piece things together. He was like, we're at the gas station getting beer because it's 10 minutes till 2. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Well, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to get dressed. What kind of clothes do I need to put on? Right. He's like, I don't know. I guess we'll figure out when I get there. I was like, okay, well, Celeste's getting dressed. Do you want me to stand out in the road or do you want me to stand on the porch? Do you know where you're going? He's like, I don't care. And he hung up. And then I waited for like 10, 15 minutes and I called him back. And then I was like, where are you at? He's like, on your road. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go change. And he's like, okay. And then he pulled up into my driveway. I walked out and I was on the phone with him. I walked out the door. I kicked the door open because you have to kick it to open it. I was on the phone with him and he's like, I'm here. I was like, I know, I see you. And then he got out of his truck. He walked around the back. He like started walking up to the porch. And only one person came from this way. And it looked like they started rumbling and fighting. No guns, no nothing. But I freaked out. I ran inside. I did not shut the door. I told Celeste to go back to the back bedroom. Like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. She started screaming and crying and she was scared because as soon as I said that, boom, a bullet went. And I was like, I dropped to the floor and I like slid across, and I don't know if it came out of the kitchen or if it came out of the living room, but apparently there was a bullet that came through the mirror. So if there was...
At your house?
Yeah, I don't know if there was... I don't know how many gunshots there were because it happened so fast. Celeste said she heard 2 or 3, but I don't know how many I heard. Okay.
Well, okay, so he texts, or y'all are talking, he says it's 10 minutes till 2 because it's cut off for beer. He's trying to get some beer. And then you said it's about 10 minutes later, right, that he actually shows up at your house?
Yeah.
Okay. You're on the phone with him at this point. I just don't want to get all this mixed up. So he pulls up. Where does he pull up at your house?
In the driveway. He pulls up in the driveway.
Is he like right up? I mean, is there a parking area? Is it a paved driveway? I mean, I haven't been out.
Rocks.
It's just rocks. So he'll just pull straight up to the house, just straight in?
Yeah, okay. Okay, alright, this is, I'm about to do this here. So this is the house. Yep. This is the porch. This is the driveway. Okay. There's a tree line. The driveway is about this wide. Okay. He pulled in. This is the house. This would be the back of the house. Okay. So this is the porch right here. There's the house part right here. He pulled in about right here to where his tailgate was like a body distance, honestly, from the bottom step. Okay. Like where the porch was down.
Right up the house.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, it wasn't like, he didn't like pull up to the front part of the house. It was more towards the back.
And you're on the phone with him. You walk outside.
Yeah, I was on the phone with him.
And now walk me through what you see when you come outside.
I kicked the front door open. I was on the phone with him, and I was like, hold on, I'm kicking the door open. He said, what? And he's like, I'm here. And I kicked it open, and I was like, I know, I see you. And then he got out of his truck. I don't know if he turned it off or not. I don't remember. He got out of his truck. He walked around the back part of the truck, and like, as soon as he like went to walk up on the stairs, someone came from this way. And then I know that I saw more than 6 people in my yard. I know for a fact. Maybe I was just freaking out and seeing shit. Excuse me.
That sounds like an ambush, right? You're on the phone with him. You're saying, "Oh, I can see you." You're luring him onto the property out of his vehicle, and then boom! Suddenly, people just jump and attack him right away. Like you have nothing to do with that, but they just come out of nowhere and attack him. That sounds like an ambush. Joanne says, "Did she shoot the friend?" I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like she set him up. It sounds like she set him up. That's what it does like to me. But that's why she's doing all this extra. I was trying to figure out why she's doing all this over explaining. Because she set him up. Right? She's on the phone with him telling, "Oh yeah, come outside. I'm right here. Yeah, it's me. I'm right here." She comes out, boom, 6 people attack him. Like there's no coincidences in a case like that.
My language,
No, you're
but
fine. Cussing is not going to offend me.
Okay.
You can cuss all you want.
well, I saw someone come running from this way. They were drugged and dressed.
Now, when you say this way, if this bottle caps your house and this is the front porch, right again, right? They came from this direction, like from
like the road.
From like the main road. 16.
Yeah, like from the road. Now, I don't know if they were in a car. I don't know if they were on foot. It makes no sense that somebody would sit at my house on their fucking feet.
What does that person look like?
Who?
That ran up. Did you get a good look at him?
I don't know. I don't even know if he was black or white. I know.
Sure, it's a guy.
I don't even know if it was a guy. I mean, I don't think anybody would have. I don't think a female would have attacked a guy.
Now, when you mean attacked, how did that happen? How'd that pan out? Are y'all still on the phone, or have you hung up?
No, I hung up. Like as soon as I saw him walk around the turn, I was like, I know, I see you.
Okay.
No, I was standing.
You're standing on the porch, and he's walking up.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time he gets to the bottom step, you see someone run up.
Yeah, but we got off the phone. Like I hung up as soon as I said I see you,
Gotcha.
and he put his phone.
Okay, so he's just walking up. He gets to that bottom step, and when you mean somebody attacks him, help me understand. Are they tackling him? Are they? I mean, what?
Like it wasn't like somebody was robbing somebody. Like nobody went up with no guns. I never saw a gun, not one gun. I only heard gunshots. It looked like somebody was mad at him. Like they knew him. Like I know you. I'm about to beat the fuck out of you, kind of thing. Like it didn't. I mean, I couldn't see Colton's face or that person's face, but I mean the way it happened, like it looked like that was like somebody meant to do that.
Well, is Colton having any drama right now? Like, well, I
haven't hung out with him. I know that.
Facebook?
I know that. No, I don't really traumatize on Facebook. Like,
No, I mean,
use it to communicate.
Have you seen anything on his page where people are threatening him?
This is the first time I've saw him since February.
Okay. Did these people? And you said you saw numerous people.
Key thing. I stopped hanging out with Colton because he sold cocaine.
Okay.
I don't want to be like a snitch or anything,
No,
but
you don't need.
I stopped.
Here, let me tell you something about all that. Honestly, you're going to do Colton a big favor if you're honest about what he does and everything that he's
I don't know
involved
if he
in.
wants people.
Well, I know, but here's the deal. Okay, he was shot tonight, right? Right? Isn't that what you told me?
I don't know. I know what they have been telling me. I don't know. I don't know for sure that my friend was shot.
Okay. People were shot in that pickup truck. It very well could be Colton. I'm sorry because I didn't make it out there before I turned around and had to come back out here, or I would know that for sure. So there's a good chance he was shot. I don't care what he does, okay? He could sell coke, he could do anything. It doesn't give anybody the right to shoot anybody, okay?
I completely agree.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why don't worry about that. If he sells cocaine, he sells cocaine. I mean, it's dangerous, obviously. He sells cocaine, but I'm not going to go investigate him for it. The only
I know, but stuff like this.
Okay, and the opposites, they know how to rub this one. He's like, no, keep talking, tell us more. We're not going to investigate him. We want to save his life. Right? They want to get all the details so they can put this type of thing together. Right? At this point, no. They're not really going to be focused on nailing him for distribution of drugs or whatever. Right? They're not going to focus on that right now. Right now, they want to know who tried to delete him or put a bullet in him or whatever. They want to know that, right? That's the big fish. They'll come back to, the petty crimes and thefts and things that he was doing, trafficking drugs and things. They'll come back to that. Trust me, they're not going to forget. They might overlook it for the moment. That's my freaking chair, y'all. Y'all see this? Every time I move, I need some WD-40. But yeah, and also good point, Phoenix Mandela. In this case, she's steadily giving out some extra details. She's eventually gonna slip, right? Because she thinks she can just, sort of just talk and she'll be able to convince them. No, they're waiting for discrepancies and information that only the person who did this could know. Right? That's what they're waiting for. Someone says, "Ooh, I love the sacred stream. Let me get my snacks." Yes, please do. I got my snacks over here. So, all right, let's continue.
This happens with stuff like that. This is why I don't hang out with people like this.
It does. What else does he sell?
I don't know. I know he hangs out with everybody in Middleburg that sells drugs.
Okay. Well,
that's why I stopped hanging out
We're
with
talking
him.
heroin? Or...
No, fuck no.
Okay.
I'm just talking about like little legit shit, like fucking cocaine and marijuana, some Xanax on the side, or some fucking dabs, or you know what I'm saying? Nothing like no crack or heroin. Do the people that he hang around with sell that stuff? Yeah. All of them do. They think it's funny to go downtown and sell crack to fucking strangers. They think it's hilarious. I don't think it's funny, but they think it's hilarious.
Okay.
They do get into some deep shit. Do I go with them? I went with Joey one time, and that was honestly why I stopped hanging out with that crowd, because of Joey individually, and Colton was just like a friend of his. And Colton like hit me up on Facebook like 2 days ago, and I was in Middleburg and I was gonna hang out with him, but I didn't. And tonight I was bored and I was like, I'm at my house. I'm not at somebody else's house. If you want to come over, come over. Like, I can
How long
invite you
have
to
you
my
known
house.
Colton?
Last November,
Almost a year? A little less
almost a
than
year, yeah. Because I talked to Joey in like November, December, January, and February, and Colton was his friend. So
Now be straight with me, okay? Because did he come over with weed or something? I mean, was he bringing dope over?
no, he wasn't bringing anything over. The only thing that I knew that he was bringing was the beer. The beer, that's it.
Is he known to have dope on him? And I'm not trying to say that he was...
That's what I'm like. I don't know. I don't know him. He could be completely different of who he was then. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody changes.
When was the last time you hung out with him then?
February.
February? So,
I mean, he could still be slinging pounds of cocaine if that's what he wants to do. You know what I mean? But
I just don't know. Okay.
I don't hit him up for like.
Well, because understand, it's just like you said, with his what he does, this kind of stuff does happen. All right, robberies and stuff like that. Even though you said it didn't seem like a robbery, but that's it. Most likely when people take a chance of robbing somebody, especially.
But by my house, I don't even really.
I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it. We're going to find out. But someone decided to specifically rob them at that point for some reason.
That's what I'm saying.
And that would lead me to believe maybe he was bringing over some marijuana or something. And some idiots were like, you know what, let's get this.
I don't know. I don't think it was robbing. Like, Colton didn't even say, "Hey, I have a gun in the truck." Like, nothing. Like, he didn't.
Okay. Well, let's go back. So anyway, so these guys come up. Do Colton and this person start fighting immediately? Is there anything said to Colton? What kind of help me understand what's happening there?
I walked out the door.
Sometimes people tend to think that these people who give all the information are honest. Maybe they're just fearing for their own freedom. But I think in her case, the information she's giving is meant to throw her off. It's meant to throw him off of the fact that she's involved in this, right? Talking about what he does and, oh, I stopped hanging out with them because of this. I stopped hanging out with them because of that. Honey, you were perfectly okay hanging out with these people while they were selling crack, coke, THC, X. You were perfectly okay. That's why you know all of this. But now that you're trying to distance yourself, oh yeah, it's easy to say, oh, I don't hang out with people who do this, that, and the third. But you knew exactly what they were doing because you were hanging out with them. Okay, maybe you chose to back off at some point, but you were involved in that. Phoenix says, the last thing she should be doing is sticking up for anyone else but herself. I'm telling you. But pay attention, because the reason why they're asking her this is not because she's an innocent bystander who has information, right? She's more entangled in this than we think. Let's continue.
I kicked the door open.
Right.
I said, "I see you." He walked around the thing. He was laughing. I said, "So let's just put him on some shorts and like, do you want to go or do you want to stay? What do you want to do?" He's like, "I don't know." Boom.
Okay.
I didn't even see this person. Like, I really didn't even see this person until they were like on the ground right here. Like, until I saw someone on top of Colton. Like, I thought it was like somebody got out of the other side of the truck and came up and was like playing with him.
How did Colton get on the ground?
the person knocked him out.
Okay, punched him. I mean, came up and
I mean,
him or
I
tackled him.
assume because
Somehow he
like it didn't, like what I'm saying is like when I was standing on the porch, it didn't look like what happened. And I don't know what happened after I went inside, but like it didn't look like somebody was about to fucking get shot and people were, none of that was what it looked like. It literally just, like at first I thought it was his friend. Like I literally thought it was somebody that he, like, I thought he knew the person.
But you wouldn't run in if you thought it was his friend, right? You know what I mean?
I mean, I would run away from anybody that was sitting there fighting. Honestly,
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm a little bit, I didn't know that person.
Okay. So are they saying anything? Do you hear anything? Was there yelling? No? It was just quiet? All right. So run me through. He's on the ground. What do you do from that point?
I went and died.
Okay.
And within seconds, the first gunshot was made. That's the only one I heard.
Okay. You heard one gunshot, and that's when you said you hit the floor. You slid back.
I hit the floor between the refrigerator and the counter right here. Like, when you walk into the house, there's a little counter, a stove, a sink, a caddy counter, and a counter.
Okay. So
I walked in through the door, literally laid flat like this. Glass was in the kitchen floor. I thought somebody hit the window. Like I thought somebody was shooting up my house. Like I thought I was the person that was getting fucking shot up. Like that's what I thought it was at first.
Right.
I thought the people that were coming up weren't for him, like or like anything. Like I thought like a million things in my head, like what was going on. And then when I hit the floor because it was my house that they were hitting.
Okay.
So I yelled at her. She was standing in the living room, and I told her to get on the floor and go to the back bedroom, and she didn't get on the floor. She just ran straight to the back bedroom, and she sat between stuff, and then I slid down past the living room, I got cut. I don't know.
It's okay. Take a minute. It's all right.
I know I heard a gunshot. I know that there's blood on the ground, but I only know one person involved.
Okay. You didn't know anybody. Did Colton have friends with him?
He said he had a friend, and then in one message it said friends. Okay. And then I asked him to elaborate on that, and he didn't respond back. And when I asked him on the phone who he was with, he didn't answer me.
Okay.
So I don't know who he was with.
Okay.
I don't know who he was. I don't know who he was with, and I don't know who ran up. I only know him.
Did you see anybody get out? I mean, you said earlier you thought it was his friend, right?
I mean, the way it looked, like, I don't know, that's like, no, nobody else got out of the truck. The only other, but like I said, when I opened the window, I saw.
What window?
You a liar. You a liar. You don't know? First you thought it was somebody you knew. It looked like somebody that came for him. Now you don't know?
You looking at him?
The one that would be right in front of the triple three mirrors. Like the one, I could see the cab of his truck.
Window. It's a front window in the house.
Yes, I saw the cab of his truck. I saw the passenger side door open. I couldn't make faces. I don't know. I saw the driver shake his hair.
Do you know who the driver is? Was that Colton?
I don't know if it was Colton.
Okay.
Because I don't know who he was with.
Okay.
And then they didn't look harmed. And then so I thought that maybe it was like one of the bad guys that were on the ground.
Okay. Who was this? What do you mean then? You thought it was one of the bad? Are you talking about?
There was a bunch of blood on the ground. I thought there was a person in the bushes. What do you mean? I mean, you have to look at the house. I'm sorry, it's confusing. Like on this whole side of this front house, there's like nothing but weeds and shit.
Right.
Bunch of weeds, and there was a blood spot. Like you'll be able to see it. I promise you'll be able to see it. There was a big blood spot right there.
Okay, so you're freaking out at this point.
What do you mean? I was freaking out when it started.
Oh, you know what I mean. So Colton didn't tell you who he came up with. He just said one message. He said he had a friend. The other he said friends. He didn't answer you. Is there anybody that you live around that might do something like this? Somebody on your road?
I don't really talk to my neighbors.
But I'm just saying anybody you can think of, because this stuff doesn't happen in Clay. You know what I'm saying? This is like some Jacksonville crap, where people get shot up. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't happen every night out here. This is definitely different.
The neighbors across the street are church-going people. The ones to the right of us are like goody two-shoes. Nana's a crazy bitch. The only other person I really know besides like Tanner Woods and them that live on that road, but I don't think that they would.
Tanner Woods, why do I know that?
Because he's a fucking crackhead.
Does he drive a Cadillac? Or used to drive a Cadillac? Yeah, okay, I know Tanner. Hey, do you know a Brent Wolf?
No.
You don't know Brent Wolf? That name doesn't ring a bell? Okay. So y'all are hiding in the back, and you say you see what looks like the headlights leaving. And then that's when y'all walk out. You see the blood.
She stayed in the bathroom. She did not walk out.
She didn't walk
She
out.
did not see any of it. She did not stand by the door. Nothing. Like, she didn't know anything was going on until I said, Celeste, get the fuck down. Like, there's a gun. And she's like, what? And just ran.
Did Celeste know these guys at all?
No, she doesn't know
Colton?
anything. No,
Okay.
she doesn't even know Colton. She's literally just my friend.
Is there a chance
That they're
that
gonna go
Michael...
after us?
No. Is there a chance Michael...
Oh, fuck no. Fuck.
Hear me out. Because he's like a real good friend of Celeste, right?
I mean, no,
boyfriend.
he just, no.
This couldn't be like a jealousy thing. He sees a truck
Absolutely
pull
not.
up.
He can't leave his house past 10.
Is he on what? Is he on probation?
Yeah.
But that don't mean nothing,
Oh, it does matter to his dad.
does it?
Yes, his
How
dad
old's
is
Michael?
not. Michael's 17.
17?
Yeah, no. Home dog didn't pull out a gun and rob a bunch of people or kill a bunch of people at my house. I can tell you that for sure.
What have you been told by police? Because you keep saying robbing and all that. Were they robbed?
He said somebody was robbed and killed.
Who did?
That person or whatever. That guy. When Celeste got back in the car, she said that the officer said that somebody had been killed, and the whole way here we were trying to ask that officer, was it a robbery? Did somebody die? Like, why were they there? And he was just nonchalantly like answering half of the questions like he wasn't giving us anything.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just like trying to put it together.
Now he may not know, to be honest with
Well, I understand that he
Yeah.
may not know, and I was trying to push questions out of him that he may not have known because I'm trying to make sense of it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But why else would somebody come to my house and do this?
That's what we're
Why
figuring
else?
out.
Like, why the fuck would somebody come with a gun to my house? Like, I don't even know how to turn the safety off of a gun.
Why does Colton...
Maybe you invited them there, right? And she says, I don't know how to turn the safety off. A lot of people who don't know anything about guns don't even know that there is a safety, right? So you switched on yourself. But it's clear she's involved in this, and we're going to find out more about that as we continue this video. All right, let's go.
Have a gun. Is it because he's...
I don't know if Colton has a gun or not.
Oh, I thought you said he did.
Well, I heard more than one gun bullet. Do you think that he didn't have a gun? I feel like if I sold cocaine, I'd have a gun. You?
Well, I know, but I'm
saying,
trying to
like,
find definite.
I'm
Like,
not-
do you know if he had...
No, I don't know that Colton had a gun. I don't know whose gun it was. I don't know who shot the fire, but I mean, I'm assuming that it wasn't, Colton didn't shoot himself if he was really shot, and I don't
Right.
think anybody else would shoot themselves.
Okay.
I mean, I know just about as much as you guys know, except for I knew the driver,
Okay.
and y'all don't.
Let me ask you this, because it'll help me out tremendously with the Facebook messages. If I brought my laptop in here and I just let you log on your Facebook and you bring up those messages, would you mind just showing me?
I mean, yeah, I can.
I ain't gonna go through your whole Facebook. I don't care. Listen, I know you smoke weed. I know you like to party. I don't care. It's no big deal. Okay? I just want to get that out
But
there.
I don't. I just hang around people that do.
But listen, it don't matter.
But who you hang around is who you are.
But it doesn't even matter. I'm not here to judge you. I'm literally just trying to figure.
A lot of that is internal guilt, right? That part of the exchange, it tickles me because you can tell she's like, oh yeah, still trust me. It doesn't matter that I was hanging around with all these goons and criminals and drug dealers and suches, and I'm snitching on them now, right? I'm the trustworthy one, right? Trust me and what I'm telling you about this case, which is obviously not what these detectives chose to do. So let's continue.
Figure out who shot up these people in your yard. Period. I don't care what's on your Facebook. I don't care what's on y'all's phone. That's the only thing I care about is figure out who pulled that trigger. Okay? So if I bring my laptop in here, will you show me the messages and everything like that? All right, give me just a minute.
The only messages on my laptop though are hey, what are you doing? Send me your number. He sent me a number and I called him.
That's fine. But Celeste's phone is down there, right? Is that?
They were phone calls.
I know, but Celeste's phone is at the house. Is at your house?
Yeah, but I don't think she wants people coming through.
Well, but here's the deal. You heard somebody got killed? I mean, if someone got killed, we're dealing with a homicide. Okay, we're not. So if we can't worry about that kind of stuff. I mean,
I feel her.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel what she's coming.
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
How about this? I go knock on somebody's door.
I mean, I don't want them going through my Facebook and stuff either.
Listen, but how about this? Let's just say your mom. I come to the door and I say, "Hey, your son, your daughter, whatever."
But what you're telling me though is like everything else in my Facebook messages will be irrelevant, right? Except for Colton's.
That's all I'm looking for.
Okay,
I don't care. All right, give me a second. This is now a homicide investigation.
Who's that?
I don't know yet.
You know, please.
No, I really don't. I don't. I really don't. I don't know the name of who's dead yet. But look at me, Alexandra. Look, do you go by Allie?
Yes.
Allie, I need you to take. You need to take this very seriously. I'm not saying anything, but someone was murdered in your front yard.
Don't say that.
Are we supposed to feel bad for you, Alexandra? Are we supposed to feel bad? Because we don't, right? We feel bad for the deceased man, right? The 18-year-old boy who no longer has a future because you decided to set him up. I mean, just a bizarre situation. Very bizarre. Poor young man is gone. Too young. Too young because of these little deviants. All right, but let's continue. Oh, sorry.
I didn't go outside to make sure they were okay. I didn't go outside to check on them. I didn't go to the next door neighbor's house and call 911. I didn't do any of that. I just stayed at my house.
Allie, I'm not saying that there's anything that you could have done to change tonight. The reason why
I could have just went to bed. I could have stayed with Celeste. We didn't have to go to my house. We didn't have to find anybody to hang out with. We didn't have to do any of that.
Allie, the reason why I say this is probably the most serious thing you've ever been involved in, right? Okay.
And I had my 16-year-old friend involved in it too because she was at my house.
I know. So understand, this isn't just going to be some quick thing and you're going to get out of here. You're a witness in this, okay?
I don't want to be bored.
But here's the deal. Let's say, and like I said, I don't know. Let's say Colton's your friend, right? Or you've known him for a while. If he is the one that was killed, you owe it to him to tell us everything, right? And help us, right? Now, as soon as I find out, I will be straight with you. I'll tell you. I know there was multiple people in the truck. I know there's multiple people that were shot. And I know that there's one dead so far. The other one's in the hospital. It might be, put it up here, it might be because of...
That's the neighbor.
Okay. What's the neighbor?
His name is William Buckle.
That's who shot him?
What?
Is that what you said?
I said that's the neighbor.
Oh, I thought you were talking about for this whole thing.
No, the neighbor said, hey, did you hear the gunshots?
Oh, no, I don't care about that. So the neighbor's name is William Buck. What is it?
Buckhalter.
Buckhalter. William. I know this shows that you're telling me the truth.
I have no reason to lie to you.
I know. So how about this? Is there any way I can print this out from my case file? And I'm gonna be honest with you here. I'm gonna put this right over here. This is where I'm coming from. If we don't go this route, I'm gonna have to get a search warrant through Facebook and all this stuff, and I'm gonna get everything anyway.
And you won't get a search warrant if you do this.
Well, I don't plan on it. Here, this is what I want to explain to you. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Thank you, but hear me out. Okay, we're all adults here. There isn't anything on here that I haven't seen before. I promise you that. Okay, there is none of this is going anywhere else but a case file.
I understand all that. I'm just fucking freaking out.
I know. I know there's probably personal stuff on here that you don't want to get leaked out, but we got to think a little bit bigger than that right now, because someone was
You can
killed.
put in that conversation.
Okay. You help me do this.
I mean, and she's acting like she's worried about her reputation. Honey, you're hanging out with drug dealers and scum of the earth. I don't necessarily believe that you care about your reputation or how you're viewed. Okay?
You have a
I don't
phone?
want to mess it up.
Do you have a phone?
I do not have a phone that where we can text it or anything.
You have to go back up to the previous conversation? Like, you want the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Where's your Microsoft?
Oh, you can't just print it from Facebook?
Facebook won't let you do that.
Really?
I don't think so, but I can copy, like, I can do times, dates, names, pictures, and photos on here.
Can you pull it up to where it's just a big screen?
If you guys can do me a favor, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. All right, let's continue.
Where it's just your conversation?
That's what
then
this
I can
is.
print it out.
No, that's what this
If I
is.
hit Control P, it'll print this whole screen out. So that's why I say, oh, I see what you're saying though. The conversation is scroll.
I mean, you can get the one from just tonight, which is right
What are you gonna copy and paste everything?
I want some girl Colton, IDK, if you might be with some, or IDK if you might think so you with someone. I don't know if you might think so. Oh, is she cute? You might think so. You with somebody. I asked him if he was with somebody, and he said, yeah, too, and where you at. So he did answer me.
Okay.
He did answer me where he was at.
What time was that? It's got times and everything.
11, yeah.
Let's see if we can. If you have to
Like,
put it in
this is where the conversation started, right? This was last night. This is where it started, literally. What are you doing? He messaged me, what are you doing? I need your number. Who you with? Why? My own girl. She's cute. I called him and I was like, do you want to hang out? He's like, yeah, I have 2 friends with me. And I said, I have. He didn't tell me on the phone. Yes, he did. He wouldn't tell me who they were. Sorry, a lot of things are mixed up.
That's all right. What were you going to do with Word? Just copy and paste all this and get all the times and stuff? Just do all that. I need everything.
Like our whole entire...
Yeah, everything. Like I said, I know there's personal stuff on there, but there may be something pertinent later on that you don't know about, and if it's not pertinent, it gets shredded. That's it. But we can't be selective, you know what I mean?
I know, I understand what you're saying. It just sucks, honestly. All this. It's like upsetting that this was done in my house. It's upsetting that if it could be my friend.
If you need something, just come knock on this door, okay?
And she's trying really hard to garner the sympathy points of like, oh, I can't believe this happened to me. Honey, they believe that you're involved. Okay, so when you try to get sympathy points, you're not going to get any. You are not going to get any because they think you set this up, right? And the truth does come out later in the video.
But I just kind of wanted you to know that these situations, 110% of every single one I've been here, and it's played out just like this situation, the same thing happened. Okay, the only thing that happened this time is it went farther than it normally would. Those people were not randomly there.
What do you mean in
The
my
people-
situation?
This situation, the whole situation, all we're trying to find out is why those people are there and who they are. Okay, and our best shot is for you to tell us, because they did not pick that address randomly and happen to be there when the
That address
guys.
has been out for weeks.
What address?
That address, the power was turned off at the house and we were supposed to leave the house, but me and Celeste were there tonight just hanging out.
I understand that, but those guys did not show up there randomly.
I understand that.
So either you facilitated something or your friend did, but the bottom line is it didn't happen without your knowledge. So this is,
That would just happen in my yard with those people?
I don't think that you intended for what happened to happen. I'm saying those people that came there, you have some knowledge about who they are.
I don't. I swear to God I don't. I would tell you if I don't. Or if I did.
Well, I think you'd be afraid at first because everybody would be, and nobody sits down and immediately tells us.
No, afraid was hearing gunshots go through my doors and my windows. That was afraid.
Okay. But now we're at this situation where we need to find out who they were, and the only people who's going to be able to tell us is probably going to be you.
Me?
Or your friend. I don't know their girl's name yet. Celeste.
This is what I didn't want to happen. I'm being completely honest, and I told you this shit was gonna happen.
We're trying to figure it out, though, and think about it logically.
It could be anybody. You know how people that are like the shit that goes on at that house?
Okay. Well, I'm not saying nothing else. I'm going to let him talk to you. Yeah. I'm just saying, we're just trying to figure out who the people are.
Okay.
Allie, hear me out.
No, this is being blamed on me.
Well, no one's saying you pulled the trigger or anything like that. Not once have we said that.
Okay, but then what are you thinking? I set this up? Why would I set up somebody to be killed?
You tell me.
Do I look like that kind of person?
No, I don't think you say anybody would be killed. But
I feel like that's what you just...
Allie, hear me out.
I don't know the people. If I knew the people, I'd tell you.
Just listen to me. Just listen to me. I want you to... I'm going to tell you the facts we have right now. I want you to hear me out. Okay? You and your girlfriend are hanging out at the house. Okay? This guy, y'all start talking on Facebook, and he comes over. A group of people confront this truck in your yard. Shots ring out, and someone gets killed. And who knows, maybe another person soon. I don't know. Depending on how it's going at the hospital.
So this goes down on me because it's my yard?
Well, think about this. If someone gets shot in my yard, of course I'm going to be held responsible to a certain extent. Now, am I going to be held responsible as far as being labeled a murderer or anything? Absolutely not. But what are the chances? What are the chances that just people you have no idea who they are decided to sit on your house and by chance wait for this truck to pull up to rob them? That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And you know it. You've already said that.
I said that.
That stuff doesn't happen. So this is what I want you to
either this last weekend when people were attacking somebody's car too, that doesn't happen either.
Do what? Last weekend when somebody was... Okay. So here's what you gotta decide.
I'm aware that the house was a dangerous place to be. I'm aware that there were people threatening. But did I think anybody was going to do anything? No.
Okay. Well, who was threatening them?
Nobody does.
Allie, look at me. Allie, here's the deal. We're at a point now where you're protecting somebody who killed someone.
No, I'm not. I don't know who pulled the trigger.
You're holding back.
People.
You just held back on me.
No.
You just held back on me. I don't know why you're protecting a murderer.
I'm not. Now I'm being defensive because I feel like now everybody's blaming this on me. And I literally was just trying to hang out with the fucking...
Okay, but hear me out. Regardless of what your intentions were, a bad thing happened. That you set up, hey, come over here. This is my address. Come hang out or we'll leave from here.
If that was going to happen, why the hell would I give them my direct address? Why? Why wouldn't I give them the address next door? I'm smarter than that. If I was going to set that up, it wouldn't happen like that. Dead or not dead, it wouldn't happen like that. And I wouldn't have did it in my yard. I wouldn't have did it in my yard. I wouldn't let anybody do anything in my yard like that.
But I thought you didn't know anything about that life. I thought you didn't. You just hung out with gangsters. You weren't one. Right? Now she's saying, if that was me, I wouldn't have did that stupid shit. I would have did it correct. I would have came correct. I don't like... She doesn't even realize how untrustworthy she sounds. You know, and the way she's presented herself in this story has shifted many times so far. You know, it's clear that she is a part of this life, and she just didn't plan this one properly. All right?
Why would I do that? I would be sitting right here. Mm-hmm. Why would I tell you?
I agree with you. The problem is something you just told me, is that you knew it was a dangerous place. There were threats made, but you didn't think anything would happen like that.
No, I didn't.
You just told me.
But I don't think that this has anything to do with that. I don't know what this has to do with. I don't know anything anymore.
But you realize that information might be the reason for this whole thing. Maybe I don't know that anybody had the intent to kill anyone tonight. Maybe they just came up to beat somebody's ass, to jump them, and shit got crazy. I don't know.
This kid said he wasn't gonna do anything to hurt anybody at the house or me or anything, but because he came to a party and something happened to him, And it was at that house that I was supposed to be responsible for it. And he told me personally that he wasn't mad at me and that nothing was gonna happen.
Listen, okay? I'm gonna say this. She should have been asked for a lawyer, Joanne. She should have asked for a lawyer long ago, but she thought she could outwit the police. Someone said, you know how how she know how to come correct. Exactly. She's proving that she is not street adjacent. She is a little hood booger herself. Okay? Gino says guilty. She did it, premeditated. The outfits speak for itself. So you're saying the Converse with the shorts that is giving guilty? Then she was banging shoes with the white ends. I don't know, Gino. But I'm gonna tell you this: she set this young man up, and this young man happened to be a star. You know, he was thoroughbred from his city. They really loved him. He went to college for baseball. He was talented. You know, so this kind of crime hit close to home. She thought she would be able to, you know, get this one off without people seeking justice for him, and she was wrong.
And I believed him, and 2 weeks went by and nothing happened. I wasn't there. I was at my friend's house for a couple of days because of this. Came back, nothing happened. His Nana turned the power out. Jordan got the power turned back on. I came there with Celeste after we babysat, and it could have been anybody that actually came through on Facebook tonight. Anybody. It didn't have to be Colton. It could have been anybody that I was like, hey, do you want to chill? Anybody that could have came to my house. That could happen to them.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because people are nasty. People do mean things. When you do drugs and you're around people who do drugs, they don't give a fuck.
But Allie, why would people be sitting around your yard waiting for somebody to pull up?
Because they, I don't know.
Because you set them up. You set them up. You told them, hey, come over here. Get this. Or, hey, come through this door right here. I got something for you. And somebody was waiting on the other side. Give me your wallet. And you didn't expect them to take lethal force, right, against these people that you set up. She got the hometown hero off. It's over for her. Yeah, he was a baseball hero in his town. Of Shearer, Middleborough, or something like that. So... She tried it though. She tried it.
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And I'll agree with you. A lot of these drug things, they don't make sense. You're right. But this is...
I don't know every part to every single story to sit here and tell you everything that's going on. It could be relevant. It could be irrelevant.
So let me decide whether it's relevant or irrelevant.
No, because I'm the one that's going to be thrown through the mud for this, not you.
What? Who's going to throw you through what?
Okay, listen, she definitely backdoored him. Poor thing. And he was just a young hometown hero. You don't do your hometown hero like this. You just don't. How you set up the sports kid? Like, that's crazy. To get robbed, too, by some dusty-ass niggas. For what? What was he going to get robbed by for? Keys, a wallet with $40 in it, and debit cards? Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. She's just a dimwit. And the fact that she tried to sit here and act like, oh, yeah, all my friends are criminals, drug dealers, thieves. But I'm not one of them. For her not to keep track does not sound consistent of her either. Yeah, and I think she's lying in the first. I mean, she's doing this at the she's flying at the seat of her, the whatever of your seat. I forget how to say that saying, but she's literally just pulling this right out of her butt. There is no technique. There's no her trying to really remember stuff. She's just playing around. She's trying to cover her tail after the fact.
You're willing to take a chance that you're going to cover up for a murder. You're willing to take that chance.
What? I'm not covering up for no murder. I didn't do anything.
You need to tell me what happened 2 weeks ago or whatever, and who was involved.
I don't know everybody's names, last names, first names. I don't know.
Well,
there was a lot of people at my house. We had a party. Some shit went down. Some guns were pulled out.
What is some shit? I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't outside. Neither, and Celeste wasn't there either.
Okay, but you've heard, I mean, give me the story.
Yes,
that
the name is Jared Wells. Jared Wells was the person that got fucking fucked up. He pulled out the gun at the house and he said shit, and then I was with him like 2 days ago and he was fine. He was like, or not 2 days ago, like, what's today? Saturday?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, my people are coming to that house and they're gonna fucking blow shit up and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, please don't send me to the house. I have nothing to do with this. Don't do that. We're not. He told me that they weren't gonna do anything, so that's irrelevant, but.
Okay, and listen, I might be able to, once we look at everything, we might be able to just count this whole thing out and say, yep, that is irrelevant.
But if it's not, then...
yeah, I mean, how...
I threw names out there that didn't even belong in this. I don't want to be in this anymore.
Are you serious? Allie, are you serious? Now, did Jared have issues with Colton? Was Colton there?
No.
Who did Jared Wells have problems with?
I don't know who did... I told Jared the same thing. I don't know who did that shit to Jared. I don't know what went down. I don't know any of that.
Did he get beat up?
I think he got jumped. I don't know. Okay. I think he got jumped. I think he got robbed. Somebody said... There was a bunch of things said. I don't know a straight answer to be telling you the complete truth.
Just tell me what the rumors are.
All those things.
Okay, so that Jared was robbed and that he was jumped. What was he robbed
Arrested.
of? He was arrested?
Apparently he was arrested.
At your house?
No, at some other house. This is just so really long.
Okay, well here, let's do this. I think it's fair. I think it would be fair to whoever was killed tonight that we go through this story.
Okay. We were at Jordan threw a party at the house.
At your house?
Yes, and Jared was robbed of like a whole bag full of drugs.
Okay.
And apparently they gave it back. I don't know that information.
Okay.
And apparently they didn't get anything, but because they attempted to, Jared said that they were gonna do shit to the house. Like, they said they weren't doing anything extreme, and that they were gonna shoot up the house, but they weren't gonna hurt anybody, and they weren't gonna do it while anybody was home, and they were gonna shoot up vehicles. And I told him that there was no vehicles there that were worth even shooting up, and he said, okay, well, my people are gonna handle this, not me. As in people, I don't know who he's talking about. I literally met this kid last weekend. I don't know him from Adam, like, at all.
Are you friends with him on Facebook?
Yeah.
Is he from Clay County?
I don't know where
he's
he's
from. Is he a Playboy, Duval?
I never have seen this kid, met this kid.
How did y'all meet last weekend? Was it at a party? I mean, how did it get to the point where he says, I'm going to throw a party at your house?
Who?
Jared.
Jared didn't throw a party at my house. Jordan threw a party at our
Jordan.
house.
Okay, yeah, your roommate. I'm sorry, I got Jared and Jordan confused. So Jared came to Jordan's party.
4th of July night. I'm pretty sure that's the night that it was.
Okay.
There wasn't really a party because his nana shut it down.
Okay. Do you know if the sheriff's office was called or anything this night? I mean, for all this drama?
No.
Were you there? Inside, but...
Inside. Well, I was talking to his nana in the front yard.
Okay. So, how when you were there, how did it come out that, obviously, I'm assuming you saw Jared and he had injuries or whatever? No?
No. I don't know what happened. And Jared pulled the gun.
Jared did pull a gun? Who did he pull a gun on?
I don't know. I don't know who he pulled the gun on. I don't know.
Honey, it's a little too late to say, I don't know. You basically gave them every other detail of the situation. They know you know. So they're going to press you for the information and do what your little heart desires, which is to try and get yourself off by giving information about the other 3 assailants. But trust and believe, they know you were involved. They just would prefer your involvement over charging you further or more. Then they're going to try and seek out charges for them. So let's continue. There's only 6 minutes left in this. Then I'm going to send you guys off on your Taco Tuesday. It smells like barbecue ribs downstairs, which is just lovely. All right, let's continue.
I don't know anything about that situation. I just know rumors. I know that it happened there because he said that. That's it.
Okay. This is a group.
If I knew who it was, do you honestly think I'd tell you?
I think if you do know who it is, you're afraid to tell me. Because I think you're afraid for your life.
Don't answer my question with a question. Switch it. Answer my
That's what you're doing. When I asked you, what did you just say? You just said, why would I set up a robbery? You're answering my questions with questions.
I didn't
mean, yeah.
I'm not meaning to do
so
it
if
like
you want to play games, I'm going to play games too.
That's not how I'm meaning to do it.
So let's cut through all this bullcrap.
I want you to believe me. I want them all to believe me. I want Colton's parents to believe me.
So then here, Allie, tell me the truth. If you're in over your head and you invited somebody over or you set up a stupid
I am in over my head, but I didn't set up any robbery and have anybody killed.
I'm not talking, I know you didn't have anybody killed.
Or set up a robbery, or set up anybody to get hurt or anything, or set up anybody to take anybody's drugs.
Did you or Celeste tell anyone else that Colton and his boys were coming over?
No. And even when we made those plans with Colton, we lied to Celeste's mom. I mean, halfway lied. We told her we were going to ride dirt roads and that we were coming to hang out with her.
So you...
Why would I end why? I just don't get why. I understand why you're asking all these questions. It's my house and somebody was killed.
I mean, who else am I going to ask, right? Who else do I have to talk to? You are the best, you and the other person that's here are the best chance we have of getting the person that killed, and it sounds like Colton, the best person that killed Colton, behind bars. It's you. You and whoever else we can get in here.
Because I feel like nobody believes me, and that's why I'm crying. Because no matter how I make myself look, or no matter what I say, it's going to be what the evidence says and what he or she says against or not against.
Okay.
It's the evidence.
Then why was Celeste?
She said that me and Jordan set this up.
Yeah.
That's really what she said.
Yes, I'm not. No games, no tricks, and that's what I'm saying here, telling you. Allie, you didn't set up a murder, okay? You set up a stupid ass drug rip that went bad. That part that went bad is not on you. If you continue to lie, there's a good chance it's going to stick to you.
Okay, so when you say that, you're not just pulling my freaking no.
This is no games, Allie. This is no games. I'm not lying to you. This is serious.
Okay, so...
And you're a good person, and I don't want to see you go down for something stupid.
Okay,
just tell me the truth.
But either way, even...
Gito says, I think people talk during interrogations because they're trying to get instantly released. I doubt it works that fast, so always lawyer up. Yeah, if they're working to eliminate you, they're gonna, and you're under your place like in a detainment, they're trying to get as much info as they can get from you. Right? They're not going to just let you go when you feel like you've given them enough info. Of course he's lying. He's just trying to get her to talk. That's all. I mean, for these detectives, it's about strategy. And when they're done and they get what they need to get, they walk out of there like, oh, Gino, I did not mean to do that. My finger slipped. Hold on, Gino. Oh, Lord. Does she end up doing any time in prison? Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't know if they're going to say it in this stream, but I have that info here for you guys. And she gets sentenced to 15 years in prison for her role in the shooting death. And this was in exchange for her testifying against the other defendants. So she definitely spends time in prison. But it's significantly less than them because she testified and helped the, she cooperated, I should say, and got the others to plead or take pleas. So it is what it is. But let's see these last few minutes because, she really thought she was going to just talk her way out of this.
If she said that and it's true, I go to jail. Right?
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Did you pull a trigger?
No. No, why would I kill somebody?
Exactly. So let's cut this out. You didn't pull a trigger. Okay, you made some mistakes, but let's own up to them. Someone died. This is bigger than just some... You're worried about little petty shit.
I'm not worried about
Not him reading her. He said you're worried about petty. You're in here for red rum. This detective is fierce. He said no, honey. And I'm gonna give you guys a more close-up look of her. I would pull it up over there, but let me just do this. All right, that's her mugshot. Looking all guilty in it. Only because it's a hometown hero. But yeah, she got 15 years. 15 years in exchange for helping to make the case come to a close. So, I mean, she keeps crying and looking all sad because she wants people to feel bad for her, but it's like you were involved in this and we don't believe that you weren't. So, looking for sympathy here when you should be worried about trying to lighten your sentence is dumb. That's what he's saying to her, essentially, right? Let's continue. It's only about 2 minutes left. And I'm going to send you guys off to enjoy, like I said, your Taco Tuesday. It's 6:70. It's 6:40 p.m. on a Tuesday. Hopefully you guys already got your ground beef made. You got your taco shells and all of that. And make sure you guys enjoy this time out with your family and friends. Get off of social media. Social media does not need to see you eating dinner. They don't need to see you hugging your children. They don't need to see you loving on your family. You should be able to do that and enjoy that off of social media. So make sure you guys do that on this Taco Tuesday. They said her mugshot is looking crazy. She needs to be slapped to pay attention. She has no patience either. He's trying to get that, you done effed up, right? Yeah. But I feel like at this point he was tired of her. Like, I don't have to keep explaining this shit to you. You know what you did. And it's very important that you cooperate or you're going to be in jail just as long as the others. And you didn't physically take part in it.
Allie, you were worried about telling me the truth on whether you set up a stupid-ass drug ring.
I didn't set it up.
Or that you were involved in setting it
My
up.
name is under it.
Your name is under what?
Under all of this.
Allie, it's time to just tell me your involvement in this. I don't think you pulled a trigger. I believe you 100%. There was no intention to hurt anybody. The problem is somebody got hurt, okay? So let's just get this out. Let's get this part. I mean, I can see it on you. You're just wanting to tell me you're just afraid of going to trouble, of being in trouble. But listen, this is a real situation.
I want to go home. I don't want to go to jail.
What do you think your best options are to go home? You think it's to continue to sit here and feed me a bunch of BS, or do you think it's to be like, hey, listen, I'll own up to this little stupid ass thing I set up, but there was no intention for any of this to happen. That's on someone else.
In summary, this is what took place. Schreffler and Coleman at the time were roommates, and she was friends with the three men. One day they asked her to find someone they could rob, and she picked Shearer off Facebook, maybe because he seemed like an easy target. She told him that she wanted to hang out, and after giving him her address, he drove to her residence some hours later. According to what the police discovered after going through her Facebook chats, at first she gave him the wrong address, perhaps because she was indecisive about the whole plan. He got lost a couple of times on the drive to her house. Eventually she made up her mind, and when he arrived at her residence, the three men, Jordan Coleman, Torian Johnson, and Ozell McNabb Jr., attacked. One thing led to another, and Colton Shearer was shot in the abdomen. Alexandra Grace Schreffler, 24, was initially charged with murder and armed robbery, but pleaded guilty to the latter, lesser charge in exchange for testifying against three other co-defendants.
So that makes sense, right? She got the red rum charge dropped in exchange for testimony. She got a good deal considering she's the one who put this young man in harm's way. And just because she had him on Facebook doesn't mean that he knew anything about her or her life. So literally, he just happened to connect with the wrong person. Just sad. Just incredibly sad situation. Yeah, Joanne, that was her mugshot a second ago, but this is her appearing in court as well. Thank you, Mrs. Mandala or Mr. Mandala. What could they really get from young Colton? Nothing. I mean, they were thinking probably like a cell phone or some technology, maybe some cash. That's petty stuff to delete somebody over. Like, And the Dusties involved in this are just shameful. You know, she's shameful too, but it's just ridiculous to take somebody's life, somebody so young, on a random whim. You know, he had nothing. He didn't even know these people. They didn't know what he had. You know, it was just random. He probably is hoping he was probably wishing he never would have accepted that friend request or became friends with this crazy girl. You know, but all right, guys. Took that man's life for nothing. Baseball star then fell to a Jezebel. Sad. And it's not even that he fell. Like, he was set up for no reason. It was a random attack on him. You know, he just happened to be a boy that she knew. And when she offered herself to him, he bit. And that's tragic. Yeah, it is a shame. Thank you for the great content, Flora. Oh, thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate you guys coming here, watching this, and reviewing all these different crime stories with me. I'm definitely going to be doing way more. I have something else tonight that I'm going to do, but I'm going to save the details on that so you guys can come running back here and figure out what it is. It is crime related, and I will be wearing the same Inspector Gadget coat, except we're not going to be inspecting anything. So make sure you guys hit the like button for me, subscribe, share, all of that. I'll appreciate it. And hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of future streams and the next content that I have coming up. Do that for me on your way out.